Thank you for coming out to the town hall. We want to make sure as this is the HUD's committee, the Housing, Urban Development, and Zoning for the City of St. Louis. You're here today to talk about the ARPA funds, right? The city is getting over $498 million total. We got 249 last year. This summer we'll get another 249 million. And we want to hear your thoughts. You know, how would you prioritize the spending of these dollars? Because at the end of the day, they're your dollars, right? They're our dollars. They're not, you know, the president's dollars. They're not the comptroller's dollars. They're not the mayor's dollars. They're the community's dollars. So that is why we're here. And I want to, again, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to turn over now to our president, President Lewis Reed. So he'll just tee us up on our conversation.
All right, thanks. First, let me just thank each and every one of you for turning out today. You know, these ARPA dollars, they represent an opportunity to be transformational across our city, but also across the country. Especially when you take a look at the way the president has teed them up and the House and the Senate has teed them up. They are specifically targeting areas that have been economically left behind, or you know, qualified census tracts. They really want to see these dollars focused within those areas, but not leaving the rest of the areas out, right? Being able to also work in areas of need all across your city. But they specifically target some of those areas. So in the final ruling, one of the things they talk about is the importance of using these funds within qualified census tracts. We're sitting within a qualified census tract. All of North St. Louis is within a qualified census tract. So when you go to spend those funds or appropriate those funds within qualified census tracts, you have greater flexibility than you would if you were outside of a qualified census tract. So one of the things I think is important that we really keep at the forefront of our discussions today are the various different categories that you can appropriate funds in, right? So the first one being revenue replacement. So what does that mean? The cities and municipalities across the country had an opportunity to submit to the federal government the amount of revenue loss that they've received based on, you know, COVID relief, right? Not COVID relief, but COVID-19. City of St. Louis, we submitted a number of $340 million. So that was approved. So we now can spend up to $340 million under the revenue replacement section. Now that's very key to everyone in here, and the reason why is because that funding pool has the greatest flexibility of all, right? You can do almost anything under that revenue replacement section. So of the roughly $500 million the city is going to receive, the city can appropriate and spend up to $340 million under this revenue replacement section. And this is why this is like absolutely essential. When you look at projects that are within qualified census tracts, what the federal government says is that just by the nature of the small business, the nonprofit, or the housing, and so on and so forth that is within that qualified census tract, it is presumed that they are automatically qualified under ARPA rules, right? So you really, the burden of proving drops all the way off. They take it off the map. If it's in a qualified census tract, it is presumed to be appropriate use or approved. Also, within those projects, and I'm reading directly from these guidelines, I think it's important that everyone, we'll post this on the website so you have access to it, but under the final ruling on page 201, it says that if a project has a total expected capital expenditure of less than $1 million, so $1 million, less than $1 million, no written justification will be required. Less than $1 million, qualified census tract, no written justification will be required. And if it's greater between $1 million and $10 million, written justification is required, but recipients aren't required to submit as part of the regulatory reporting to the Treasury, right? So you have to do a written justification, but the reporting isn't required in less than $10 million. $10 million or above, you have to have written justification, proof justification, and you also have to do regular reporting. So that's really important, not just for the city of St. Louis, but you have family members and stuff in other municipalities. Please let them know the amount of flexibility just under that one ruling. The other one is public health and economic response. So under public health and economic response, it allows great, very wide latitude now under this final ruling. So anything related to public health, right, and economic response. So it could be, for example, we have cure violence in the city of St. Louis. We can help to expand cure violence because that's a public health issue. We can help to add additional pay to the people who are coming in close contact with people. So you have to think about public health, not beyond just police, fire, and paramedics, right? It also includes things directly in your own community, including things within the household, right? So we can help households directly when it comes to that category also. You also have premium pay for eligible workers, right? So under premium pay, it allows municipalities to give additional pay or premium pay to people who are coming in close contact with, performing higher risk jobs, right, due to COVID-19. So that's also important to remember under that category. And when we look at where we are now, and this also I think is really important that people keep these dates in mind. So we have to have this money totally spent. Our bank account, this $500 million, we need to have it say $0 by December 31st, 2026. $0 in the bank by that date. If it isn't, it goes back to the federal government. By December 31st, 2024, we must have it all appropriated and allocated, right? So we don't have a lot of time on this. We roughly, to spend it, we have 4 years and 8 months and 23 days to spend the entire $500 million from today. To obligate it, we have 32 months, 23 days to obligate it. And just to give you an idea of where we are in that timeline, how much time has elapsed thus far, we've already been through roughly 9 months since we first sent the first measure out. So it's really important to understand that. And it's really important that you engage in it, but also tell people in other municipalities and other friends of yours across the country the amount of opportunity we have right now to transform our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now we're going to open it up. So this town hall is unlike, you can go ahead and stand to the mic. This town hall is unlike our traditional official committee hearings where we don't engage the speakers. Today, if you have a question, we're here to answer the question as best we can. And you have comments about how to best spend the money, that's what we're here for. So anybody want to speak, just line up and we'll hear you. And here's how we're going to do it. Let's go for 3 minutes, okay? State your name and the 100 block that you live on. So I'm Jeffrey Boyd, 1400 block of Rowan Avenue. Go.
I'm Bill Monroe, and I live 5445 Maple. But I'm standing here in support of saving a school. And I asked the St. Louis Public School Board to act expeditiously in support of our efforts regarding Harriet Tubman Preparatory High School and Career Center and the effort to secure the Beaumont High School campus and save that school and bring education, skills, and job training to that site. And I asked us, and I'm very glad, I saw a letter the other day that the mayor sent to the Board of Education. Any of you guys familiar with that letter?
I am.
What did it say, brother?
The one letter said that they weren't going to support the the Board of Education's citywide planning effort until charter schools and some of the other folks had to.
They mentioned
equal voice.
independent schools, such as that which is proposed at that site. And actually, the Board of Education should be charged with delinquency of a minor for failure to educate and allow the community participation to take at least one of these schools and not allow Beaumont High School to become that which looks about 3 blocks east of Beaumont. What is that school, Alderman? Which one? Central. It looks like Ukraine right now.
Worse.
Or worse. And don't be distracted by the world things that happen. We got a war going right here. And the war has something to do with the Board of Education saying, Bill Monroe, we want you to stand down for 2 months, for 18 months. We got a plan. They don't have a plan. Bill Monroe has a plan. I've submitted to the alderman here, and I give permission to Brother Bosley to give you the copy of that. And the blessing is, and I'm no novice in building schools. Thurgood Marshall was my first school. And I got killed, I got beat up by the charter school management people. That's why Harriet Tubman is an independent community black school. Make no mistake about what's going to be taught there, because I've been asked by certain people, what are you going to teach? We're going to teach the truth about our children, and there's an opposition to that right now.
30
as you all
seconds,
know.
Mr. Monroe. 30 seconds.
I'm done, brother. But I want your support. And please come to school board meetings. I attend every school board meeting, and the participation is dismal. Nobody comes. But you can't stop the crime, the carjacking, and all the things that are going on here just with the police. You need education, you need skills, and you need job training. And I thank God for the brother at Midwest Bank Center, Orville Kimbrough, who's agreed to finance this operation as soon as the St. Louis Public Schools signs this memorandum of understanding so Harriet Tubman can take that school and open it up and save our children's lives. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Mr. Monroe. And I know you've been on the battlefield for over 20 years, easily fighting that fight. So thank you. Next up.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that?
No,
Is this a question?
you can get in line.
It's a follow-up question to his comment.
Go ahead.
Is it possible to use some of this funding for the public schools, or is that?
Yes, you can use these fundings to build, you can even use it to build schools. Yes, absolutely.
And we can use the same schools.
All right, all right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Lester McKinley. I stay at 4439 Dr. Martin Luther King in the heart of the aftermath and the heart of the disaster of the city of St. Louis. I've been following y'all ever since 2018. I got pictures, I got applications. Back in 2018, August the 6th, we had a meeting on the same program about getting money back into the inner city. They had a whole bunch of money back in 2018, and they had everybody filling out the application saying we're going to get back to them, and no one called, no one since. So where that money is?
No, that was, I was.
James Buchanan, I got pictures and everything. The same scenario is going on right now.
The meeting in 2018 was the CDA funds, and we do a public hearings for those funds that we receive annually. And that was a town hall meeting asking you about how the plan looked and if you had any changes. We had it right here, as a matter of fact. And we split out into different rooms, and we had different topics, and then we came back and we consolidated that information, which is put into a plan that's sent to HUD for approval for how we spend those dollars on behalf of the city. So that was what that was for. There were no ARPA funds because there was no COVID-19 in 2018.
Well, my understanding is James Buchanan came down to my business and said I was approved for the funds, and I never got the funds.
That is a part of the funds that are used there. And you're talking about the facade program. Mr. Buchanan,
talking about the
Mr.
facade
Buchanan
program.
is a neighborhood commercial
District manager.
district manager. And his job is to work with businesses in his territory. And there's a process that you went through, and he doesn't get to have the final say-so. There is a committee that works on that. They look at the plans, they look at how much money they have, and how much you would put in on that plan. Because we no longer finance those facade programs 100%, because we don't get as much money from CDA as we used to. Give us, say, 6 years ago, or more, we were getting somewhere between, what, 28, $30 million. This coming year, I think we're down to 16.8
Yeah,
million.
and to add to that, so you take a look at that 16.8 with the restrictions and how you have to spend it and the HUD requirements. and
So
all that
where
stuff, but
where
now-
the money spent at? Y'all got any paperwork saying where the money went to?
Yeah,
I never
but-
seen it. I
but-
never seen it.
but this-
Only place I seen was down there by the police station they built back
That
in
all comes through the
2018.
administration.
And then I
There's-
also seen where they built right there on Martin Luther King and Whittier, right there where Wash U at, the plaza, they built that with that money too.
No, they didn't. That project came through St. Louis University from a group called SCORE. And those are retired business individuals who donate their time and their money, and as well as St. Louis University. And they helped build that plaza there. I think Alderman Moore.
I thought that was,
Alderman Moore.
I think I seen it on the internet where they had the money
Sir,
come from.
I just want to share with you the facts, that's all.
Okay.
Let me ask you.
I need to
But-
see paperwork. Where the
but-
paperwork at?
But
See,
here's,
we gotta have paperwork. See, this is what we've been doing for the last, back in 2018, we've been doing talking. We getting people in the building, having filling out applications.
all online.
And then once it go down, we don't hear nothing.
It's all online.
We
for
don't
you.
hear nothing.
here's what I'd say to that.
We've been dealing with this 2018, the same
Well-
development supposed to be coming through Martin Luther King and building it up, and we ain't getting nothing.
Again, you're mixing apples and oranges. Those pots of money, block grant funding, these folks up here, they don't have, we have no control over that. Only thing we can do is convene you all together and say, okay, what do you
But
think?
we've been doing that for
But-
ever since 2018. We've been
I-
coming
I'm-
together ever since 2018.
I'm
I got
with
pictures
you.
right here.
I'm
I
with
got
you.
pictures showing I was in there, I
We
took
can't
pictures.
resolve
Sir,
in 3 minutes.
Yeah, we can't
here's what
resolve.
I would like you to do. What's the ask? Forget all that.
The
that
ask
didn't
is,
happen.
the
We gonna
ask
move
is, when
forward.
we gonna start funding the city of St. Louis?
What would you
in the
like to
inner
have
city?
funded? What
would
When
you
we
like
gonna
to have
start,
funded?
we said that 2018 we gonna fund it.
Sir, what would you like to have funded?
I want everything funded in the
No.
city of St. Louis.
Personally, what would make you happy tomorrow?
Well, what would make me happy tomorrow if everybody from downtown all the way to Wellston get funding and get help?
Thank you.
That's what I wanna see.
And we
Thank
will
you
work
very
on
much.
that,
That's what I
promise
wanna
you.
see.
I promise you, we'll work
All
on
right,
that.
and then I got more paperwork too.
Okay.
I got more paperwork. I do research.
And let me get my email out, because if people have any questions afterwards, because, sir, I'll email you where the money went based on what you're talking about, but you can email me at jlboyd64@sbcglobal.net. jlboyd64@sbcglobal.net, and I'll respond to your inquiries. And if you need evidence on where money was spent, I'll find it for you. Thank you, sir.
And that 5-year plan is still online, and it has updates on it. So I'm,
I ain't getting no facade
I can't answer your individual question.
I'm in the heart of the St. Louis. I'm in the heart of the epidemic, and still ain't getting no help. It's crazy.
That's why he needs to.
I spent over $1,500 for blueprints.
Okay.
Still ain't getting no results.
Sir, we're gonna work with you. Yes, sir.
Make sure he's finished. Good morning, Chairman Boyd. I'd like to say hello to Alderman Reed, Alderwoman Davis, Alderwoman Evans, Alderman Collins Muhammad. I don't know this young lady.
Sarah Martin, I'm in the 11th Ward.
Okay, good to meet you,
Nice to
Alderwoman.
meet
And Alderwoman Boyd. So again, good morning.
Good morning.
The things that I see as, first of all, my name is Michael Burns. I live on the 2100 block of Russell. I represent Northside Community Housing as the president, and our office is at 4067 Lincoln Avenue in the Ville. What I see as priorities, first of all, is health. If you don't have money that's going to help you with health care, nothing else really matters. So that's the first thing I'd like to see priorities going to, programs that help people get early signs of bad health. Second thing is children. And when I speak of children, programs that help folks to learn how to read. Reading truly is fundamental, and reading will help people get towards an understanding of math. And we see a lot of that's not taking place in the community. You know, a lot of times I'm seeing writings from individuals, and they want to say it's typos, but it's misspellings. And we have a lot of that in our community. Third thing, and the last thing I'm going to deal with, is housing, because that's what I do. We would like to have more money for affordable housing. That's in the areas of rental housing, as well as the ability to make people first-time home buyers by having the classes that they can learn everything they need to do in order to become a successful homeowner and participate in the American dream just like most other people are in this country. That's all that I have, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, sir.
Good morning. My name is Fred Lewis. I'm the owner of a JCPenney building on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't hear me. My name is Fred Lewis. I'm an owner of a JCPenney building on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. The main interest I have is I appreciate this open forum for individual constituents to come to speak their minds on the needs for urgent care in our neighborhoods. First and foremost, I'm a trainer. I've coached. For decades, I've sent kids to colleges and universities right in the neighborhoods where I grew up. Actually, my mother was an educator in that district in the 22nd Ward. So my main plight is dealing with.
Can you?
Yeah,
He's
sure.
turning it up now, but he's turning it up.
Dealing with the constituents in the neighborhood to eradicate some of the abuses that we have with crime, drugs, sex trafficking, and other mental issues that are dominant in our communities. What I would like to do as being a developer and trainer of minds and people is to provide services in more than just parks and recreations, but more in our neighborhood environments that can enhance the ability of our young people to have outlets to do things other than gang banging, shooting, assaulting, and get them some education and resources. Years ago, as my mother is an educator, you have to educate the young at an early age. And that's the main premise that we need to have in the city of St. Louis, is education and reconstruction of the needs in our community, especially the most depleted neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis. So I'm hopeful that this money will go into the hands and the people and resources that can provide services for the well and much needed communities. I appreciate everything we're doing. I appreciate this money that's been offered to us, but the main thing is make a change and work collectively. And all the infighting and misunderstanding need to be dismissed, because we have one structure, one purpose, to make the city better, put it to a place where we used to be, where we're recognized across the country by being unified. And the rhetoric that goes on now is unnecessary, because we are losing people. We're losing lives to crime. We're losing lives to lack of education. We're losing lives for addictions. We're losing lives just for lack of care and empathy. My prayer is that this money can be used for the betterment of this city, this region, and the desperately needed constituents of St. Louis City. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kenneth McClam, and I'm the president and the CEO of a nonprofit called the Arc of Safety Center. I'm in the 22nd Ward. We got transitional housing that's in the 1st Ward. And we were able to fund our project back in 2005 and 6 up to 2011 through the substance abuse and mental health funds that was coming from the Department of Mental Health. Those funds were cut off in 2011, and we didn't receive anything until 2018. However, when the money was sent forth to get it, most of the funds went to South City and South County. I was able to get a small bit of the money. However, I think the problem with me was I didn't have adequate staff, and people wanted to work in this neighborhood. Our neighborhood is one of the worst. The 1st and the 22nd Ward is one of the worst in the city. So I'm just putting a request out now. I'm looking at a figure like about $7 million. $7 million would not only rehab the property that was neglected, because I had about 30 beds in the, between 2006 and 2010. We had about 30 beds for homeless people that were suffering from substance abuse and mental health disorders. We also had in place work development and on-the-job training. And that's what we need. When we say no man left behind, it's more than just the people in the military. We're talking about the people right here in our own communities. And our community look like a war zone, but I thank God for the money that's here and the work you guys are doing now to allocate money for those who are living in the neighborhood. We don't gotta wait for the developers to come from all over the country to fix up our neighborhood. We want to allocate a program, and I know that a lot of drug addicts, everybody that was drug addicts and alcoholics were not thieves. But in my mind, I was a drug addict and a thief for years. I've been clean for 27 years now, and so I'm a strong advocate for this, and I know some of the people that get caught out here and end up homeless, some of them are lawyers, doctors, they intelligent people. So I know this got to be mental health disorders, and we need to put more money and more attention to that, especially to those in our neighborhoods. I went to a local school in the neighborhood and asked them what we can do to help them. The social worker said when the parents bring their kids in to sign them up for school, the parents go into a nod. So the problem is very severe. And like somebody was saying, education, it do begin in the home. But how can the people in the home help their own kids when, they suffering from, well, for some you can. Thank you very much, and thank you all for the work you're doing.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, could we ask, there's some people who won't get up and talk, but they can write what they want on these charts, okay?
My name is Jim Roos. I live on Lafayette Avenue between Jefferson and Grand. Since 1971, I've worked with housing, affordable housing in the city, always rental housing. The management business was called Neighborhood Enterprises, and the nonprofit was called Sanctuary in the Ordinary. I have a request and a proposal, a plan. What I've distributed to the alder people is the plan, and then below that, an article from the Post-Dispatch 2 months ago about the plan. There are 5 key elements: ownership by nonprofit corporations, selective rehab. Instead of taking a building that needs to be gut rehabbed or newly constructed, you repair and retain existing lower cost rental housing. You use selective rehab. Save the systems that are usable, pick solid buildings, partially occupied usually. Clean up the area around it, we call that greening, and then have good management. Those are the 5 principles. What I passed out to the aldermen, I have 28 more copies with me. So if you would like a copy, see me after the meeting, and please don't, I don't have quite enough for everybody, but I have 28 copies that I'll pass out. Lewis said, don't beat up on anybody. I won't do that. I've tried to work, and I have worked some in Jeffrey Boyd's ward. I met with Mr. Collins Muhammad recently. Marlene Davis, I know you're my older person, and you talk to my wife and other people in our neighborhood. I haven't been at those meetings. So I have a plan, and it's been thought out, and it's been tried. And in the 3+ years since I retired, I've worked at refining and reviving that plan. It's not just for our nonprofit. The plan is for any nonprofit. Northside Community Housing. Did Michael Burns leave?
Yeah, he just stepped outside.
Okay, or Northside Community, or North Newstead, or RISE, or Beyond Housing. It's for the bi-state area, anywhere where there's structurally sound but neglected rental housing, our plan will work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
President Reed, honored members of the board, and concerned constituents. Mom, could I ask you to stand up and show everybody that handsome child? Would you do that? I'm pointing to you. Yeah. Stand up and show us.
That's our future.
He's been so curious about things, but quiet. And that's good and bad, because I'm not going to be quiet, as you all know.
Will you tell us
I'm
who you
looking
are?
at the survey and having such a tough time.
Terry.
I did say, didn't I?
No.
Oh, Terry Powers. Well, I know you all know me. Terry Powers from Dogtown. The most important, I can't pick just one thing off of this list as the priority. But when I say children and youth, it encompasses everything else, because our children are impacted. And Pam and I met for lunch a week ago talking about the violence and what we need to do to end the violence. And one piece very near to my heart is we need to support the mothers and the babies. It's a mental health issue. It's an emotional health issue. It's a spiritual issue. Our children are our future unless they're neglected and abused and killed. Under housing assistance right now, I think you know, I've been dealing with a family since Christmas because Lewis Reed's secretary volunteered me. And it's become a full-time job. We had an apartment for a blended family, paralyzed father, a mother with so much strength, I'm in awe. We got 4 bedrooms, the entire apartment furnished, coats, clothes, toys. She told me, stop bringing the toys, it's too many toys. Until their apartment was gutted by a fire. And if you want to talk about bureaucracy and red tape, a certain committee man and I have experienced it up to here. These people are homeless. They're homeless because of a fire. People who are low income, people living in poverty, don't have renter's insurance. I talked to Greg Daly about it the other day, and he said the domino effect. We have no safety net for our people. Those of us who think we're middle class can get a signature loan. We can lean on relatives and friends. We know how to navigate. I'm learning this about myself. I'm angry, but I'm stuck in the grieving at the anger phase, and I've got to overcome it and let the tears flow because I can't cry anymore. I seriously cannot cry. It's been too much, and I'm not talking just this one family. I'm talking about children who kill one another because somebody was irresponsible with a gun. I'm talking about families traumatized by drive-by shootings. Yeah, we've got to stop the violence. And what Lewis knows, and I know he knows, is you don't revitalize a neighborhood without bringing development in and strengthening the neighborhood schools. I'm old enough that I remember when the north side was beautiful with curb appeal. We didn't have abandoned buildings where somebody could snatch a child off the street and keep her for a week, traumatizing her and her mother. Okay, I got some more to say here. You know me, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
We've got to address mental health. We've got to address our school system to the best of our ability because we're not in control of it. Dwayne, we've got to do coat drives for kids whose parents can't afford coats. I'll shut up. You all know where I'm coming from. But there's nothing more important than that child. Nothing. And that includes me as a senior. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone on the panel. Good morning, everyone here.
Good morning.
I'm going to say we're angry, but we're
Tell us
here.
your name first, though.
My name is Marie.
Hi,
I'm not
Marie.
going to give my whole name.
Oh, that's fine. Hi, Marie.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you we're angry, but we care. And we've sat and sat and sat and sat and sat in these type of meetings, and we see very little. Please, I'm pleading with you guys. And my alderman is Muhammad. And he picks up the phone and he answers my calls and he cares. We need you to care. What you doing in the Central West End, do it here. You don't need us to sit in here and say we need more money for police. Our firefighters need more money. You need to get these vacant houses. I went for a walk with 3 kids this morning and saw a man in the alley having sex with a prostitute. Ridiculous. I'm an educated woman from Johns Hopkins University. I grew up Scullin, Beaumont. I went to Sumner for a year, so I'm educated here. And I am tired. I came back for COVID to take care of my mother, but when I can take my mother to the Central West End, sit down, have a coffee, and nobody bothers me. And we have a wonderful time. Go to Forest Park, go to the museum, and enjoy all the amenities. But I can't walk down my street only and go in my alley and pick up trash without these 3 children that I don't know that volunteer with me to pick up trash and see a man having his you know what's up. And I'm being real, y'all. We need y'all to help us. Give us some money. You don't need us to fill this out. You know what we need. We need housing. We need money for our police. We need money for our firefighters. We need y'all aldermen to support each other and stop fighting with each other. And don't take our money. Help us. We appreciate you guys. I emailed the mayor. Yes, she emails back. We want results. O'Fallon, beautiful. You guys are doing a great job. But we have the rogue folks that mess up what we do. Keep at it. My mother's 75 years old. I'm going to tell y'all something. Her friends don't come visit her anymore because on our street, these fools drive down the street at 100 miles an hour, and 3 of her 80-year-old friends who go to church with her, cars have been hit, so they don't come over anymore. That hurts my mom. And she bought her house, and she's remodeling it, and she pays taxes, and she gets permits. It is absurd. I just went to Kansas City for a business trip. Beautiful. I couldn't find a piece of trash on the ground. Everywhere I go around here, that's all you see is trash.
One of the dirtiest cities.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
It was bad, but now it's better. We get the blueprint from other cities who have made it happen. Look at Atlanta. Look at San Francisco. Everybody's making changes. This right here, I'm going to do it. Please, please, I implore you, I beg you to give North City all the way around from, like he said, from the city all the way over here. Give us the attention and the money that we need. We matter. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about any and everybody that lives in our neighborhood, black, white, Chinese, and everything. Please help us. You know what we need. We can't keep coming to these meetings doing the same thing over and over again. We're frustrated. My brother here is frustrated. Help us. Help us. I'm telling you, our police need more money.
The kids is crying in the street, that's why we get all this
Exactly.
money.
So
The killers, ain't no money, they don't have no money.
I'm asking, I'm begging you, please, and respectfully, we appreciate the work you do. I appreciate you being here Saturday morning, and seriously, I really, really do. But let's make something happen for the city. Our city is beautiful. Last thing, we're number 1 or 1 to 10 on everything negative in this country. I have a friend in D.C., a white lady, who told me she loves the botanical garden, but her husband say they can't come here because of the crime. That's absurd.
My children not coming back.
That's absurd. I come from Northern Virginia. I've been gone 30 years. And this is what I come back to. My whole family is here. My Beaumont family, my Sumner family, my Scullin School, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous y'all let a building go down to waste like that and our children see that. It's been sitting there for years and years and years. Tear it down, board it up properly. I had to call 5 times about the bricks that fell down. A child got hurt. The bricks were in the street on Lee and Kings Highway. We shouldn't have to do that. If that was in the Central West End, I bet you'd have been gone in 2 days. So please, I'm just asking. I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep fighting for our community. Anything you need, and Muhammad know it. Anything you need from me, I got it. But I'm telling y'all, that man right there, he works for us. I don't care what nobody say, and I appreciate you in front of all these people because you answer my calls and my text messages, and I appreciate that because my mother is 75 years old and she don't deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's sitting on all of them.
Good morning, HUD's committee. My name's Kennard Williams. I'm with Action St. Louis, 1000 block of North Independent. I'm here today to talk to you about our organization. We do a lot of work in the city. We do anti-carceral work, we do work around housing, and we even do electoral justice, as many as y'all know. One of the things that we've been dealing with since the beginning of the pandemic is the mass evictions that we've had in this city. Since the pandemic has started, we've had the moratoriums in effect. When we had those moratoriums in effect, they did help reduce the amount of evictions that we were seeing. Now we don't have those. Last year, when it came around this time and we were talking about budget and allocations for ARPA money, we talked about money going over to help the unhoused and towards rental assistance. Here we are again this year. We still need that money in those same things. We still need the money put into rental assistance and utility assistance. Currently, we have a backlog. We have federal money coming. Because we have a backlog, we're going to take a hit on that money. We need to extend the pool of money that we have for the rental and utility assistance. Otherwise, we're going to continue seeing the evictions filed. Right now, we have over 4,000 evictions in the area happening right now, just in process. 4,000. 4,000 people don't know what's going to be up at the end of the month for them. We're calling on investment into increased funding for affordable housing that is ADA compliant and accessible. We had people in here talking about affordable housing and how we need more. We talked about repurposing old buildings, but also people who live here deserve that same energy that they have in the 28th Ward and the Central West End to get skyscrapers and all of this. Another one's on the way. Why don't we see that energy for brand new, safe, affordable, clean housing for people that live here already? I'm tired of having to be in competition with people who aren't from here because it's always a push to bring in outsiders into St. Louis. And what happens to us? Our rents go up. We start getting evicted. We lose our houses. And when we need that assistance, we turn around and we do things like this. We go do testimony. And I don't want to play the audio from last year because y'all already know it was a joke. It was a joke last year when people came up and said, we need this money for this. You said the sky isn't falling. You said that people didn't need direct payouts.
We put 13.
The money did go into the direct payouts, but initially you said that people didn't need it.
Yeah, $500.
You said that people didn't need it.
I'll let you talk and then we'll.
But 500 ain't nothing, but you know what? It'll save a lot of people's lives. It'll change the world for a lot of people. If you face an eviction and your family doesn't know how you're gonna get the rent paid, that's a day and night difference. We need money get put in to programs to help people who have school-aged children who are in the city right now. We have people who are getting evicted. Please don't cut me off because you let Terry Powers go on for the longest time. We need money put into programs to help people who are facing eviction right now. We talk about the issues with the public schools right now. Every summer, we see empty seats. And everybody knows what happens. Families got evicted. They got pushed out the district. We can't keep them. We won't have a school district if we do not handle this housing crisis. We won't have any of that. Also, this survey doesn't say anything about homeless services. How many of y'all see homeless people asking for resources and stuff all the time? I don't see anything about that on this survey.
That's not our survey.
That's not ours.
That belongs to room 200, the mayor's office.
Okay.
That's not ours.
Okay, guess what? Take the feedback. Please send that over.
Make
sure to let her know.
Give it to the right person.
Make sure to let her know
Give
that.
it to the right person.
So are you saying that the money doesn't need to go to homeless services? Why am I arguing with you about it? The money just needs to go to people. The money just needs to go to people.
understand what you're saying.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And
Thank
we're
you.
with you, but you need to go to the proper.
And the money is sitting there.
I'm in the proper channel right now. I'm talking to the committee. The money is
$100 million.
The money is sitting there. Let's put more into it. Obviously, when we talk about all the issues people are having, we talk about the base issues. We need to talk about how this stuff is happening. And that's because people don't have resources. They don't have housing. They don't have all of that.
I agree.
And the lion's share of it goes to the police. And everything, obviously, is not getting fixed by policing our way out of it. So we're calling on you to put this money into affordable housing, to put this money into unhoused resources, into shelters, into warming buses, into warming centers. Should I bring up encampments? Y'all, you don't want to talk about that.
No.
You don't want to talk about encampments.
Not in my neighborhood.
I will.
Not in mine either.
I want people to be in proper shelter.
Yeah.
I don't believe anyone has to be in a camp.
Then let's build it.
Hold on a second.
Then
That's
let's
what
build
I
it.
want.
Okay, will you support putting homeless tent encampments in Forest Park and in the parking lot of Strives? Because that's where the mayor should put them. She keeps trying to put them in North St. Louis. All of us here said, no. You know what? You won't send a dime to North St. Louis. We
Equity.
have, right now, you said 4,000 people are losing their homes. Pick up your phone, call the mayor's office because
The money is there.
We put 15,
Oh, I do my work all the time, sir.
$15 million.
I do my work in the community all the time.
$15 million
What do you do?
in place and she
What do
won't
you
spend
do
a
around
dime
here,
of
sir?
it. She won't spend a dime of it, so it's really important. And this is why it's important to just, I'm asking you to just pause for a second. Because we don't have a lot of time, right? We need to really target so that we can get this stuff moving. We put $15 million in place for rental assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance. And if you said about the $500, what my comment was is $500 isn't going to transform their lives, but
It will. You don't know what $500 will do. You in this room.
You have to let allow me to finish. Allow me to finish. Allow me to finish.
Let's do things decent and in order.
Excuse me. Continue.
Let me finish. But we put $15 million in place for rental assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, home improvement, so you can get thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars that way, or $500, the majority of which did not land in North St. Louis. How many people in here got a check for $500?
I didn't get none.
Exactly right. You know where it went? I'll send you the map. It went to South St. Louis. The majority of it went there. That's the argument we were putting forward. So I'm asking you to help us move this stuff. Right now, not one dime has been spent of the money we sent to the mayor's office for rental assistance, mortgage assistance, and utility assistance.
Did you say not one dime has been spent?
Not one dime has been spent.
The money is
out of that
sitting
account.
there, sir.
It's still sitting there for over 200
Over
days.
$100 million is still sitting there.
200 days, the money's sitting there. So pick up a phone, email, text, tell your friends to call that office, to tell them to put that money to use, because otherwise it's just going to sit there.
Okay, thank you, President Reed. Sir, thank you for your time.
They think that we spend the money and we don't.
Yeah.
We don't spend it.
Hello? Hello?
Yes. It's not really a microphone, so you need
Oh,
to
it's
project
not?
a little
Okay.
bit. I
Well,
mean, it's a
thank you.
microphone, but it's recording.
All righty. Hello, everyone. My name is Elaine Laura. I live in the 4400 block of Enright. And I am a avid reader. And on the city's website, they have the sustainability plan for the city of St. Louis. And it is written fantastically. I want everyone to go home and start reading that plan. It's called the City of St. Louis Sustainability Plan. And it's written powerfully.
But it needs to be implemented.
And I like to read from it now. The city's greatest strength is embedded in its history as a city of neighborhoods. Many of the city's diverse neighborhoods. Now, who could throw out a name of one of our diverse neighborhoods? Where is it? O'Fallon is diverse. Help me. The Hill, Cherokee Street, downtown, Old North, and the Ville contain a strong local history, cuisine, and unique street festivals that celebrate heritage and culture in a way that people from across the city, region, and nation can enjoy. Now, that's the truth. Notwithstanding these strengths, here's where history. Inequities exist between different ethnicities in the city, and there is an opportunity to integrate underserved groups more fully into the community. In 2009, the percentage of the city's population living in poverty was not quite 15% for white, non-Hispanic residents. In 2009, the city's population living in poverty for blacks, residents, who want to throw out a figure?
80%. It should be 60-something.
Not quite 40%.
Oh,
In
it's higher than
addition, minority groups, raise your hand if you remember, minority groups tend to live in areas that contain fewer amenities and services, have lower annual income, and spend more time unemployed than do white citizens. It's in the sustainability plan. Disadvantaged citizens are also the least likely to participate in the city's political process. We give up our power. We are beaten down. We don't participate. In order to reverse, they do not attend meetings, they do not vote, they do not form community groups. In order to reverse these disparities,
Get the dope out the neighborhood.
what can the city do? We can provide those who are disadvantaged with resources to increase stability, improve their neighborhoods, and provide paths for upward mobility. Providing opportunities for people of all ages, from youth to seniors, to successfully live, work, learn, and play in the city is critically important. Creating educated and equitable workforce will continue to attract businesses and economic development to the city, as well as new residents and tourists to its diverse and vibrant neighborhoods. That's in the sustainability plan. I'm for all that. But here's my question. In the sustainability plan, my pet peeve is highlighted. My pet peeve is with the St. Louis City Water Department and the Metropolitan Sewer District.
Yes, MSD.
Strategy number 3, objective F. Make data on water usage available by property. Water meters currently exist in most commercial property in the city, but not at city residents. I'll read it up. Install city water meters to more directly monitor usage and provide incentives for constituents to save money through water conservation. Verify all commercial properties are metered. Make water meters mandatory for all new construction. And this is what I want to participate in. Pilot a meter program at City Hall and track usage. But recently, the Plumbers Code internationally was accepted, and all mentions of water meters were deleted. Alderman Muhammad Collins, you sit on that committee. All mention of water meters were eliminated. International codes. When I called Don Rowe and asked him about this sustainability plan, he said the Board of Aldermen put no money, not 1 cent, in this pilot program. So I say, put some money from the pandemic into this pilot program. Because some of you might not know, if you live in the county, your water is metered. They charge you for every little inch of water you use. But in the city, our water is unmetered. If you have a 4-bedroom house, they are charging you like you having a party up there all night, taking baths and showers. No.
Yeah.
They charge you based upon the size of your house. If you are on metered water.
Ms. Laura.
Yes.
Thank you for your passion. And that is something that we were not aware of. We're the Board of Aldermen, but we got you on that one, okay? We can fund that.
We'll put it in there.
Okay?
And I want to sign up for a meter.
Okay.
See my witnesses.
Thank you.
Yeah. Meters, yes, she has.
Hold on, I just want to say something real quick. If there is any 21st Ward or Fallon neighborhood residents here, the energetic lady who just spoke is the president of that organization. So if you live in this ward and you stay in your Fallon neighborhood, please see her and come to the meeting. All right?
Yeah.
I'll bring donuts, I promise. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
O'Hara's Donuts. The best donuts
Specific.
in St. Louis.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's tough to act.
It is.
That ain't no act, that's real.
Tough reality to follow. Patrick Hughes, 40 North Kings Highway. I have 3 items I just think would be good to consider spending some of the money on. Not that,
What's his name?
I'm sorry. I'll try to speak up.
What's his name?
Is
It's
the
just
mic-
recording. It's not amplified, it's just recording.
What's
So-
your name?
Patrick Hughes, 40 North Kings Highway. A lot of good comments were made by a lot of my fellow citizens. I have 3 things that I think we should consider. One is, and these all would benefit the low to moderate income areas of the city and in particular. I think we should consider spending money on public school infrastructure. I think for our young children to go to school in buildings that are inadequate, that need painting, that windows don't work right, is an issue. I think we should try to make it so they can feel very positive about the school and their neighborhoods that they go to. Second of all, I think we should consider investing more money in social workers and mental health services to support law enforcement. this is kind of a new thing for me. I didn't really consider that so much, but a lot of our crime problems are much deeper than just what's
Oh, yeah.
portrayed in the press. And we really need to invest money for the people who can work with the people who are victims of crimes and the actual people, the perpetrators or alleged perpetrators, to get to some more of the root cause problems, and a billy club probably isn't the right answer for a lot of them. Finally, this might be a little bit controversial, but I think we should consider some kind of incentive pool from the money to encourage people to in-migrate to the city from the suburbs or some other parts of the country or some other parts of the world for that matter, to maybe set up a program maybe to help subsidize people to move to the city. The declining population has been going on my whole lifetime, and I think if there was some kind of an incentive, people might consider moving into the city. So whether it's an interest rate reduction if they bought a house, or maybe.
They will come.
I'm sorry?
If you build, they will come.
Like, hopefully, yeah. But maybe there's a rent subsidy. If you live in St. Charles County and you move to one of the areas in the city that we're targeting, maybe you get a $200 discount on your rent. Because I think at the end of the day, the city's going to get earnings tax revenue from a lot of these people anyway, and it would help the neighborhoods to stabilize. So those are just three things I thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Good idea.
Just FYI, the school district has their own millions of dollars to deal with the school system. So the money that we're talking about today isn't going to the school system. It's going to our community, to rebuild our community. So so if anybody else have comments about us using this money for schools, they have over $100 million.
Mr. Chairman,
Based on what Mr. Reed said, we could still allocate, if we said we were going to spend $50 million on infrastructure repair in schools, or like the other gentleman said, help establish a school, we could do that with this $500,000 if we wanted, correct? With this $500 million.
Yeah, it's in the rules that it does allow it under the rules. It does allow it under the rules, but what the chairman is saying is that first we want to see the school has to put their funds in.
right, the
first.
school
But-
district,
but-
first of all, has to approve it because we have
They're dragging
no
their
governance
feet.
over the public school system.
Dragging their feet.
Oh, well, we know that, sir.
And-
So the school district, as the chairman has said, they have a surplus of about $140 million. They received their own ARPA funds about 3 weeks ago, and they received over $100 million. So in addition to what they have in their surplus. So if you have children in the public schools, you need to show up,
Yes.
and you need to show out.
Nobody comes to the school board.
They don't.
But Bill.
But here's an opportunity for people who didn't know better to know better, and hopefully people will start going to the school board meetings.
School board meeting.
Yes.
Please.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Good morning, panel.
Good morning.
Mr. Chairman, good morning. I ain't gonna be up here long at all. My name is Leroy Carter. Yes, sir. 4400 block of Martin Luther King.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm not gonna be up here long. I just come to ask about the hospital, the brand new hospital that just sitting up there. Do you know when it's gonna open, when it's gonna start business?
Remember the Homer G Hospital?
Yes, sir.
I don't either.
It's on Jefferson.
No.
Yeah, neither one of
That's
those
the
aldermen
fifth
in here. I
ward,
don't know.
Alderman Page was for it. But if you send me an email, I can find out for you.
Yeah, you know all this, you know, when you go to the Barnes Hospital and SLU, they ain't got no rooms or no beds or nothing. And that's a 3-bed, that's better than nothing. People are dying, you know, murder. How much you feel would be good with murder, with bullet shots and stuff like that, you know? I want to see it come back again. Me too, save me, right? I can show you a scar right here where I got cut. Right, we just want to open, we want to open the people. It's plenty of room for it to build, you're right. Once it opens, it's plenty of room for it to build, to become Homer G. Phillips the way it was, you know?
Their plan is to build a larger hospital with over 100 beds. This was just
Good.
kind of a start
Good.
for them, but the plan is to have that as well as a college over there in training school.
So you don't know what the holdup is?
They're working on
There's
it.
no hold up.
No, they're
I mean, it just seemed like it's just sitting there.
moving forward.
Oh, okay, all right, good,
And
good.
I'm working on getting, I just sent out a message, I'm working on getting the opening date for you and the chairman. As soon as I get it, I'll
Good.
pass it to the chairman and we'll let you know. Hopefully
It'll
before
bring
the
jobs,
end
it'll
of the day.
save lives, you know? Every time I look around, somebody done died, you know? And they go to Barnes Hospital. That's all I wanted to say. I'm not gonna be up that long.
Hello, everyone. My name's LaShonda Gibson. I'm Vice President-elect for the Baton Special Business District, as well as the owner of Lovey's Ice Cream and Eatery, 7954 North Broadway. I would like some of the funds to be allocated for small minority businesses, also safety and security. I was very discouraged when opening my business down there on Broadway due to safety reasons. So if we can allocate some money for those two, I think it would help the community and all.
Can I ask you a question? Sure. As a business owner, how could business owners best use the money? I mean, we hear a lot of times we need to support our business, but as a business owner, what would you use the money for example?
Safety, security, cameras. It was just an incident.
Better lighting.
For your business?
Lighting, that's part of the.
Now, let's talk about your
safety and
business, though.
security. Signage, the sidewalks, pavement of the, my lot, I'm just gonna say.
Marketing.
Parking.
Okay.
Yeah, they speed up and down the street all day long. Like, so, and they merge right in front of my business. So, yes, my business has been hit. I had to repair a lot of stuff because of that. But yeah, just money in general. Like, we need assistance.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Repairs, anything, because we're doing this for the community. Like, I could have took this business anywhere else, another state, another district, anywhere. But I choose to do it in the heart of Baton, somewhere where I'm from. So that's what I chose to do, and I'm there. I've been discouraged a little bit, but God told me to keep moving, and that's what I'm doing. And I
What's
just
your
ask for your
name?
support.
What's your
LaShonda Gibson.
Miss Gibson, me and my ice cream crew, we're gonna come support you.
Thank you.
Just like I did Aries up there on Natural Bridge.
Thank you.
I
Do
love
you
ice
know
cream.
your alderwoman?
Yes, I do. Lisa
Okay,
Middleton.
good, because she's here to support you.
Yeah, and Ms. Gibson,
All right, Ms.
also,
Gibson.
get online and download Board Bill 82. It's the first of 37 million that we all been trying to send to North St. Louis for economic, recovery and stuff, and business expansion, business establishment and stuff. So download Board Bill 82.
Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for
Thank
your
you.
time on this Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I thank you and appreciate you showing up to try to help us with our issues. But I won't try to take long, because I do have a little grocery list.
So you want to give us your name?
That's coming next, Jeffrey, hold on.
Okay.
But I said that first to get the ice broke. My name is Una Rogers. I'm on the 5900 block of Saloma. And I have been on that side since 1967. I graduated from Mark Twain Grade School, and then I graduated from Northwest High School. And I am so upset that I just want to sit down on the floor and cry. What'd the lady in the pink do? It's just deplorable. And the first thing I'm asking for is, I don't care what job you have, be accountable about it. Don't run for office and then come send me cards and flood my mailbox asking me to vote for you, and I can't get you over on my block out of 365 days of the year. All right. That's ridiculous. But you can come in my office and want me to dance and sing and do the hula and everything else. But I'm accountable, and because I want to be treated, and customers say, I don't see how you do it. I said, when I leave this side of the counter, I'm on that side. And I want somebody on this side to know what they're doing and what they talk about. And I can't get it. There was a time if I had a piece of chip on my gutter, I got a letter. You need to get that painted or this, that. Now, gutters is full of debris and nests, birds, and having homes up there and everything else. Nobody's doing a thing. I hate to say it, I was driving down West Florissant, coming from Energetic in Florissant Valley, and got up to, I can't think of the name of the street on West Florissant, and I saw all this commotion. I saw these lights. I said, ooh, it's a big accident. I'm going to go down here and see what this is. Then I saw tanks and men in their uniforms and rifles. I'm saying, what is going on? And Mike Brown is laying over there on the ground. I didn't know who it was, but he was over there on the ground. Now, they're kind of developing over there. But like after that happened, and Don Lemon, is that his name? Yeah. I tried to get a hold of him when he came to St. Louis so badly because I wanted to take him on two major streets, Kings Highway from West Florissant till they get all the way to the end, and Grand Boulevard from 70 until you get all the way to the end. We were over at Forest Park Community College, And all the big, beautiful white shirts and uniforms was up on this thing. Hayden was there, Cruson was there, Kim was there, everyone was there, Jimmy Edwards. And I said, why are you having this meeting over here if you're talking about the rectangle, which is over there, and the people ain't gonna come way over here this time of the night, and half of them don't have transportation and anything else. So I asked them, what are your plans for the infrastructure of that area? Because I can remember when I went to Mercy Seat Baptist Church, we had to stop going over to the donut shop because prostitution and drugs and everything else was out there. And because when I was a kid, I was like, ooh, I can't wait to go there. Ooh, this place is so pretty. Nope, not anymore. Turned into prostitution and drugs. Then as I got older and started working right there on Euclid and Delmar and discovered I was working in the richest, poorest, I didn't know anything about a Delmar Divide. I just knew I had customers that would come in and have a grocery list of money orders that they needed to buy. Because they don't have no bank accounts. But behind me, six-figure homes. So they had turned Gaslight Square from Gaslight Square to the drug-infested, and then you couldn't afford to live over there. So what is it that all the people are doing on that side of Grand and that side of Kings Highway that we can't get on this side of Grand and this side of Kings Highway? All right. And why can't, and all the person, like I said, in our neighborhood, you don't have that many blocks anymore because they turned it into a hellhole. So why can't you take time to come to the neighborhoods that are actually functioning? I'm sick of joining stuff. I'm on the Urban League. I'm with the Federation Block Unit. Nothing is being done. Where are the people that are getting this money, that's in charge of this money? Are they here?
No,
we're not in charge.
No, I know you're not. I'm just saying, are they here?
No, it's the mayor's office. We appropriated, and now there's over $100 million sitting in the mayor's office unspent of this.
But it would be so great if somebody was representing a different factor of how that money is going in here. And then we could go to them and say, hey, we'll work with you. You know, like I said, I don't know what the job description is because I don't want to put a lot on you all. You came to St. Philip's Church, and visited us.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put a lot on anybody that's not their job. But where are the people that it is their job, well, we could talk to them today, and they could take a listing and names and numbers and a sign-in sheet. And because we didn't have a sign-in sheet, did we? Or did I miss it? Yeah, there's no sign-in sheet, so you don't know who came. But all I'm asking for is accountability. You know, don't get me hyped up. Or they say, don't do such and such in my face and tell me that it's raining. I am just tired of this, and I don't see any structure or anything going on. Now you want to tell me, oh, we only got 9 police officers. I said, you know what? I bet they can't do what they're doing on my street, on Ballas and Olive.
Exactly.
They can't do what they're doing on my street on 141 and Manchester. Because somebody's going to say something to them. They know this, so they won't do it.
Ms. Rogers,
Yes, sir.
15 seconds.
15 seconds.
What do you want us to do?
My 15 seconds is, I want accountability. I want to see some sheets out here that you have set up for the housing. I want these slum lords to get their acts together. I would like to see that if you rent a place, then you have to have some kind of 90-day training. And if you don't meet up to standards, you got to get out of the neighborhoods that the people are trying to do right.
All right, thank you.
All right. I love it. She's talking about that nuisance program that don't work.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
My name is Joyce Green, and I live in the 21st Ward, and a lot of people have addressed a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about: the violence, the housing, the education. I want this group to focus on entrepreneurship that is invested in the community. Any community that thrives has to have businesses, but they also have to have businesses that are invested in that community. We do not need another Chinese food restaurant.
Thank
We do not
you.
need another gas station.
Thank
We
you.
don't need another beauty supply store. We don't need another liquor store.
No
We
tire
need
shops.
Real businesses that are invested in the community. And if they could develop some type of program that would help people who live in the community start businesses, I think that would also be an asset.
What's your name again?
My name is Joyce Green.
Graham?
Green.
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 Good morning. My name is Eddie Gamble, and I live on the 3800 Folsom block in the South City. I got married recently. It's going to be 9 months on the 24th. Thank you. And our romance is built in St. Louis. We went to the live music that is here downtown. We went to the independent restaurants. We walked through almost every park, whether I wanted to or not. We even went down to the wall of graffiti down there. That's where we love St. Louis. Me and my wife love St. Louis. And we wanted to be St. Louisans. She came from Texas about 3 or 4 years ago. I came from South Carolina 2 years ago. And as we look to the future and family planning, when we want to have children, we want them to grow up St. Louisans, I'm concerned with rising rents, with evictions that kind of they're out of control, with crime. There are two things. One of our wishes is we want to be St. Louisans. The other one is that we want to build our family. My ask here, because it is a very big, complicated issue. It is about housing. It's about being able to not only rent, but buy your home. It's about making sure that your rent isn't going to be crazy next year, that you can start to plan, not only just survive, but thrive in this city. I mean, just driving down the street, some of these potholes have been here for a while. And I used to live here. In 2013, I left and I came back. And the city feels worse. It feels worse. Yeah, it's like you can look at numbers, but when I walk around, it just feels bad. And I want to be a St. Louisan. My wife wants to be a St. Louisan. We want kids to be a St. Louisan. My ask is, because it is a complicated issue, it is housing, it's crime, it's all these things, and it is your job, you know better than me. Can I have both these things in my hand? Can I be a St. Louisan and can I build my family here? Because I am concerned, like highly concerned and a little bit discouraged when I look around and get more involved in St. Louis about that future. And that's all that's my ask.
I'm your alderwoman. Here's my business card with my cell phone number. Come to the Tiffany Neighborhood Association meeting around at the park, that building. Currently, we are on Zoom, but we're strong. We don't have a vacant lot left in Tiffany. We've built homes there. We got everything for you and your family. But we're going to help you and your wife feel more comfortable.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for this.
Good morning, Alder people. My name is Wolf Smith. My pronouns are they, them. I live in the 6500 block of West Cabaney Place. It's all good. So thank you for having me here. I'm here both personally and also as an employee of the Conflict Resolution Center of St. Louis. If you've never heard of us, we're a community mediation organization, and we do a lot of work around preventing and stopping conflict locally. We have a wide roster of community volunteers who are trained to help mediate conflicts that y'all might be facing. And then we do a lot of work in housing, right? So like you heard earlier, the eviction crisis is unwieldy. And I know that you all have done a lot to help support rental assistance, utility assistance, and homeownership assistance. One thing that we've found that's been really successful as mediators is that mediation is actually about 70% successful at helping to stop an eviction, which is incredible, right? But right now, there's not a lot of teeth. And so one of the things we started to do working with the mayor's office with CARES funds is anytime someone got a rental assistance award, we inserted into it, by taking this money, you agree to mediate before you take it back to court, right? Just one little clause. If you want that $1,500, $2,500, all you have to do is agree to mediate before you take it back to court. Saves them the filing fees, and it means that the tenants get a voice and the landlords don't have to go to court in order to feel that they have some type of recourse. It works really well for both parties. So I would strongly encourage you, if you're thinking about the next round of funding, making that a condition of accepting any type of assistance that's being put out, including any type of repair for landlords who have properties with renters. So.
Thank you.
You got a business card with you?
Yeah, I do actually.
I want to make sure you get in the budget
Yeah,
the
if
right
anyone
way.
wants one, I've got. I think they're in one of my pockets. I'll find them and I'll get.
Yeah,
them.
make sure we get one up here.
Oh, here they are.
Your name is easy. Don't slap me.
I know.
Well, no, I'm not slapping nobody.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, it's Wolf Smith.
I thought he said Will.
I thought he said Will too.
I thought he said
Okay.
Will.
Wolf.
If anyone wants my
Okay.
Hi.
Thank
Good
you.
morning. Hello, good morning, panel. I'm here, my name is Deborah Stevenson Robinson. We're from the 1400 block of Shawmut. I've been there over 60 years, okay? So I think we've been here longer than any. My mom has never moved since I was born, and I'm 64. My concern is that when we were some of the first ones to walk through Ford School. So everybody know what happened in Ford School.
Alumni.
All right.
First graduating class.
Yes. And so we were there. And to see what happened to Ford is just another conversation.
Yeah.
But my concern is that I'm for the kids. I'm an educator. I'm an educator in the Riverview Garden School District. And I see how every year we get a mass group of families that's coming from the city with the vouchers and the Section 8 saying we had to leave the city to come into this neighborhood. And so we prepare for them each year. We prepare from the ones that came out of like the projects, the different areas. I'm not sure, not Doris Webbing. They're like, I don't know, Peabody's is one, and then now they're coming from a Fallon place. Now they're coming from, so everybody's coming from a Fallon place. So my plight is for the young kids. It's for the young kids. What I see when they come into our community, first of all, they're displaced. And then the parents are coming with so many. These are not the same parents that I remember. Not at all. Not at all. So when I see the mental illness and the things that's happening with these kids, and then they come, and then they were home for 2 years, and then they start living the way their parents live.
Thank you.
So I'm not talking about the educational part. I'm talking about the mental and the trauma and the things that they had to see. I think that if we actually go back into putting parenting programs, and for the parents, we can do all we can in the school system. We can do all we can. But if we don't get the parents healthy, the kids still got to go home every day. I can teach yes ma'am and no ma'am all day long. But when they go home, it's Yale and no. I'm just starting to tell you. So I'm asking for something to be done with the mental health component. We cannot now get anybody to come into the schools to help the kids because there's no money. There's no funding to even hire anybody. We had great programs. And then when we were coming up, we had community centers. I just drove into the area to check Wells out, you know, what we talked about.
Wells, Goodfellow.
And Wells and Goodfellow and Wells and Blackstone, because I'm concerned about the vacant buildings. I want to do some property buying. I want to do some things, but it's like, I don't want a vacant building next to me. Because when my people come, or my friends come over, they be like, they're supposed to come like this, you know, like, I don't see this building over here.
Yeah.
But we have to do something about the vacant buildings. And then when I drove past Wells, I saw the park was gone. The Cardinals Park, and I'm like, it's gone. I mean, what happened? It's like I've been asleep or something. It's like, what happened? But it was never used.
Right.
So, I mean, it had to take it over, but
Fence
nobody
around.
else was there. We had a community center. We had a community center right there on Wells.
Right.
And I did my first helicopter ride. I went to the Arch. I did all my field trips. I did everything like that. So to this day, I can take my students to those things. You know, so why can't we have a community center again? I know we had Little Ford. Well, not Little Ford. We call it Little Hempstead, right? But now Urban League has it. Right. But you can't get in there. So the kids need somewhere to go. They have to have somewhere to go. Are we going to keep repeating the vicious cycle over and over and over again? Shoot them up. Shoot them up.
So tell me exactly what you're asking.
I'm asking for a community center. I'm asking for some form of community center that if you're worrying about the prostitution and the addicts on the outside, when you have the community center with summer jobs, we had the youth programs, the people work there, and so when they come in, they can't come in. So if they're outside, that's one thing, but they can't come on the property, gate it off. You know, and the trauma, some type of training for the parents. The parents need some training. They're begging for help. The job is one thing. If you give me a job, but I cannot hold it.
Okay.
You know, so that's what I'm asking in our community. All right?
Appreciate
Thank you.
Before you leave, I'm gonna ask you to go on the city website because there's a new format and we have all these new programs for youth and families.
Right.
And it's through the recreation department and everything is listed for all of them. So we're using some schools and some community centers that are there. And there are a couple of them in that area that are listed. So if you go on the St. Louis City website, go under recreation, you see the flyers for all these different entities and all the programming that's there.
Because I wonder if there's a community center in the 22nd.
I said, we don't have community centers in every, but we're using other facilities.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right, so the
Yeah.
kids have to get there.
But what has happened is, we put them where troubled areas, they can walk to them.
Okay.
They've looked at the police data, they've looked at where the schools are, they've looked at the truancy numbers, all kinds of things to determine where these locations will be. And also, they had a lot of neighborhood meetings,
Right.
and parents suggested
Right.
different, and the kids suggested things they want. They wanted soccer, they wanted hockey, they
Right.
wanted piano, they want to learn how to play guitar. I mean, you name it, it's there.
And I do concur with that, and I will look at that, but I need to say, when I was coming up, you can, at 3 o'clock in the evening, you can see kids going into their homes.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, there's no kids going there because there's no kids in the community. So to actually do a survey with kids and what they want when there's no kids. You know, what we're talking about, people that walk in the streets, people that, I learned how to knit, I learned to do all those things. So we have to give them back to the community.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Want to say hello to everybody. All right, I appreciate it. I am running a little late, but I'm trying to do my best to make a decision on what I really want to cover.
What's your name?
Larry Brooks. I would like to say thank you to my alderman there. He's really doing his best in order to help up the 21st Ward. But I'm a veteran. I left St. Louis, Missouri when I was 19 years old. If I see your face again, you won't hear that again. But I came back last year after 30-some years, and I was really disappointed. What I want to say is, yes, when I left there was violence, and I came back, it was at a higher level. Yeah. While I was gone, I studied St. Louis. Buildings decrepit, all right? People losing their jobs. Matter of fact, some of my uncles, they used to work at Ford Motor Company, they got laid off. Everybody had to be aware of the word gentrification. So coming from Atlanta, I noticed that a lot of our people down there, we were working together. But I come here, and it's like, it's only the alderman's job. It's only the mayor's job. I'm saying it's the community's job. That we got to come together as a community. We keep coming to you guys. You hold these meetings. Like the lady said, nothing's happening. Because you only one person. I know money's being held. I read up on that. But I'm saying this. If we don't come together as a community, I speak to my alderman as much as he gives me time. I'm also a project manager. I've been working with people that build houses for over 30 years. Why do we have decrepit buildings, all right across the street from you, like this lady said? I mean, decrepit. We can fix them. I recall reading about this, just come to attention, where the city of St. Louis had a problem getting rid of bricks. Well, hire the other persons to get rid of them. We'll pay us. All right, we'll do it. We got trucks. People got trucks. We as the community, we can do better. One more thing I like to add is that the alderman heard me say this a couple of times, safety rules. I stay right over here in this area. I decided to come in the city. My family, we were one of the first families out in Pagedale, Missouri. Came from Pruitt, Idaho. Yeah, I was a terrible little kid. But Mom said, get out of here. And I took her advice. And that could have been the best thing that ever happened to me because I learned discipline. I learned how to work with people. I learned leadership. I learned how to I know how to speak to you type of people, all right? But I mean you type of people because you just like me, all right? When I left, I was a shy little boy, but now I see that my city needs a voice. And I'm not that voice, but I can represent my alderman when he's making the decision. As I see we having problems with the people that's outside our community, all right, that don't want to give us the money, all right, that don't want to clean up. This lady here, she mentioned all her lots, houses on them or whatever, cleaned up. I'm going to say our alderman, we're working on that. But I would say this, I'm not really trying to pat you on the back, John, but you're doing a good job, all right, you know. For us what I see now, don't mess up. Okay, but I would like to add, all right, that my children, I got 2 beautiful daughters. When I say I'm going to St. Louis, they said, Dad, for what? All right? Well, my grandchildren came here. First day we was over in this park, they were shooting. All right? Now, my thought was, okay, they shooting. I done heard shots before. All right? I heard many shots. I'm a veteran. But I'm going to say this. How did them guys get away? Out of the park. 5 cars chasing them. Exits. They know the exits better than the police do. Oh, I thought they did. You know what I'm saying. All right? But safety is a precaution. Alderman, you're working on the park. We already talked about that. All right? But, hey, why do we go in the park and there's a trash can right there? I told the brother, I said, man, the trash can right here, man, throw it in the garbage. You sitting, oh, no, he ain't fighting me, bro, all right? He ain't fighting me, all right? I ain't scared. All right? I didn't do nothing. I just say, brother, I guess when he saw that, I'm not walking around trying to be a police officer. I'm just saying nobody. Don't come at me, all right? Okay? All right? Yeah. But I'm saying, like, I say, hey, brother, I was nice about it, all right? Hey, man, like, and so, you know, so I was walking with my granddaughter, and she threw hers on the ground. I go, oh, girl, you got a problem? She said, Granddaddy, he did it. Oh, wow. All right? See what I'm saying? Yeah. These kids, like the lady said, they're following the parents, all right? And so we would like to see a change. You'll see my face again. I don't mind attending these meetings, all right? And hopefully that my stories will get better instead of me being sad about it, all right? We're cleaning up our alleys. We're doing community work. We're cleaning up our own alleys, all right? Alderman says, okay, they're doing this. The guys are even taking the things off the trash can.
I heard that. That's ridiculous.
That is, I mean, this is our people. Our community, that's what I'm saying. So I saw a guy the other day, he had a wrench in his hand. He was sitting over there. He saw me come around. He know we own the home over there, wherever it was. And he stopped. I said, man, you know, that ain't worth it, man. What you need? You gonna get $5 off of that?
It'll buy opiates.
It'll buy what?
Can we ask you a quick question?
No problem. Yes, sir.
Alderwoman.
I wanted to ask you, are you interested in being a small developer?
I will talk to you about that.
Because I want to find more developers who will go out and develop more units for us to have.
I will talk
and
to you.
Everything is not about affordable housing.
That's right.
Because we are already a poor city.
That's right.
Okay?
Yes.
We're already poor. We're about poor as it can get. And until you understand how to balance economy
Yes, ma'am.
and bring some people here who got some extra money to spend, so that then we can take that money and do what we need to do for those who are in desperate need.
Yes, ma'am.
And we need more developers.
Sure.
So hopefully you will think about that, and feel free to call me at any time, because I'm determined.
Well, I'm gonna say this, ma'am. First, I'm gonna help my alderman clean up my neighborhood.
No.
All right, I'm with you. All right. I don't know how that works. Hold on. I'm not knocking anything you said.
Anything I talk to you about, I already have talked to him about.
I understand. So I don't know how that work on that table.
No.
But I'm talking to him. All right. I'm just gonna say that.
Together.
I edify this man. He know that. So I didn't know. I don't know how y'all work.
I don't even have no
I'm
lots
gonna
for
say
you to
this,
come.
ma'am. This is my first time seeing all y'all together.
She good people.
Okay, thank you, John. But I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate it. My name is Larry Brooks again. I'm with Layaway Housing. Just to tell you what we do in Layaway Housing. The lady that I work with, Miss Rochelle Mookman, they've been owning homes in the area for about 15 years, all right? And what she decided to do after the pandemic, wasn't nobody paying their rent, all right? They didn't have to pay their rent. And she didn't want to become a slumlord. All right? So we're doing our best with that, but hey, we came to get the kids into work to work for $12, $15 an hour. All right? They'd rather be in there playing. Don't get me wrong, I play sports too. But to me, if you ain't going pro, dude, let's go on out here and make some money.
Hey,
Come on, man. All right?
Put the reality to it.
You know, so I'm on one more thing here is that, hold on for a second, bro. Hold on for a second. One more thing I'd like to add is that if we can, like the one lady said, if we can develop something, I've been talking to my alderman about this, where the community, each ward has some type of thing that keep the children involved. Why is it one time the 6th ward, what's that, 6th ward, their crime is up. Come back over in the 21st ward, their crime is up. I met a police officer in the alley, and he says, hey, we ain't got enough people. I said, you know, man, I read about that. It ain't your fault, all right? You just be careful. So I'm saying that what we need to do is continue to come together as a community with layaway housing. I'm sorry, I skipped that
Mr.
subject.
Brooks, I'm sorry, I've got to cut you off. We got to move.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate it because I got a long story.
Mr. Brooks, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me get you.
Okay. Should have been, look at our business card.
Can we wait till the end?
Yeah, it take us a while to get them.
Can we
What
wait
was
till
that?
the end? Good job. Okay, get in line. Go ahead, get in. Can you just get in line again? Can you get in line? Because we don't respect this lady time who's been standing up here. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Good afternoon, my name is Monique. My name is Monique Kunks.
Decent and in order.
Thank you.
We almost done.
Go ahead,
My name
baby.
is Monique Kunks. I don't have a particular ward. I live in this ward. I own properties in the 27th ward. I own a business at 2901 Union. And I just want to say that it ain't just with the Board of Aldermen. I just want the city as a whole to take accountability for the things that are happening in our neighborhoods. I don't know what you meant by you said that you need small developers. I own, the majority of the properties that I own are in the 27th ward. I've tried to, excuse me, sir, I've tried to, I didn't even want no city funds. I just want to know how I can get the buildings. I want to know what type of properties that can be built. I'll use my own money to get the things done if the city of St. Louis can't do it. I'm passionate about these things. I'm passionate about the children. I'm passionate about the housing. It's filthy outside.
It's so dirty. We got one of the dirtiest cities. You're right.
I moved out of this city and I come back because my family is here. Trash up and down the highway from the airport on down to downtown. That's unacceptable. I shouldn't have to go to another city and say, well, damn, you can eat off the ground, but if I go home, what is going on? I shouldn't see mattresses on Highway 70. I'm calling MoDOT. I have family that works in the street department, MSD, the city hall. I plead to them. They tell me what to do, and then I go to the powers that be. They're not doing anything. So I'm not gonna just hold y'all accountable for it. It's the city in a whole. It's the people in this room. It's everybody. But we have to come together and get our community together. It hurts me. It hurts me. It makes me, I don't want to come outside most days, but I have a business to run. I got properties to take care of. I got nieces and nephews that's growing up in this mess. And I'm encouraging them to leave. I don't want them to leave. This is where I'm from. I don't want to leave. I don't want to go take these tax dollars and give them to another city. But I'm asking for accountability and for everybody to take responsibility and do what we need to do to build this city back up.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Colin McKinney, and I live at 8749 Riverview. And I came here this morning to learn something. And I don't know a whole lot about the interactions of city government, but the one thing I've heard this morning is that it's on the mayor's desk. How do we get it off the mayor's desk?
Well, thank you, because that is absolutely.
Got control of the money. It's on her, that's all they can say.
Please,
Let him
Yeah, just real quick. That is absolutely essential. So there's $100 million sitting there. And as long as people come to the board and say, you guys do, we can't control that. You have, if you pick up the phone, call the mayor's office, you send an email to her office, you drop down and drive down and knock on that door, that money will be moving. It will move if you all begin to push it. Because right now, we're just, you know, we're in the echo chamber because of Twitter and Facebook and folks out there saying that, you know, trying to say that everything's fine. Well, everything isn't fine in these neighborhoods. We need that money moving. So send
So
an email.
you can't get it off the mayor's desk?
No, we have no power to do
We've
that.
done.
You've done your job, so.
And we're going to continue.
So
to
if I
push.
go to Channel 5 this evening and say, it's on the mayor's desk,
And that's according to a report that she gave the Board of Aldermen. We'll provide it to you.
okay, how do we get a copy of what's on the mayor's desk?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. What did you say?
How do we get a copy of what's on the mayor's
We need to give
desk?
them what we passed.
Oh, okay. Oh, we'll give you what we passed. So this.
Sir,
can't
this
hear
is
it,
the last time we're gonna have you interrupt this meeting. You will have to leave.
Yeah, please give people an opportunity to have their voices heard also. So Board Bill 82.
Board Bill 82, okay. I
Yeah,
didn't bring my
Board Bill
pen with me.
82 is $37 million. We've been working to get that money moved to North St. Louis for over 200 days now. And what the fight is about is the mayor wants to put homeless tent encampments in some of the permanent homeless tent encampments in some of the neighborhoods in North St. Louis. We put an amendment on the bill that said we will not allow that. And if you want to do a permanent homeless tent encampment, put it in some other place. Put it in Forest Park. Put it in the parking lot of Stripes.
Yeah.
But the neighborhoods in North St. Louis, they can't afford a permanent homeless tent encampment in their neighborhood. So we said, send this $37 million to North St. Louis. And we've been fighting to do that for 200 days. It's in Board Bill 82. Take a look at it. If we can get this passed, that begins moving direct funding to North St. Louis.
All right, thank you.
In addition to that, there's another $100 million that was appropriated in September,
200 days ago.
October.
Over 200 days.
It's over 200 days. But that includes everything else, including funds for COVID-19 so that our health department can be doing the appropriate things for our city. It includes the money to support housing with the eviction problems that we have. It is the funding, the demolition, you name it. $100 million is not moving.
Not one penny of it.
We need this city to be improving every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if we can move this money, because while we're talking about the next $250 million, why we haven't even moved the first.
Yeah.
This is criminal. It's criminal. And you can't continue to say, well, I got to get a plan, or I got this, or somebody don't like. No, we know what needs to be done. And think about this, people. This is not the first ARPA dollars we had. Remember, we had ARPA dollars the year before, and we spent it without controversy. Did we not spend it without controversy?
Under the previous
The mayor and the Board of Aldermen worked well together and spent the money and put it on the street, and you didn't even have to worry about it.
Problem now. The mayor?
Yeah.
So there's already a diagram on what to do.
Yeah, so just if people begin, see, as long as it's in the dark, it's not gonna move. When people are aware and you make the call, all other things being equal, the people in this room are the tiebreakers. If you all begin to call that office and say, move that money, the money will move. And guess what? When we appropriate this next money, that will move too. It should not take 200 days to send money to North St. Louis and some of the money that they appropriated for Central Corridor and South St. Louis, they didn't put the same restrictions on that they're trying to put on the money that we're trying to send to North St. Louis. So people have to be aware and hold the mayor's office accountable, hold my office accountable,
Hold all of us accountable.
everybody. So if it's sitting on my desk, you need to come beat me up. If it's sitting on any of their desks, you need to beat them up. If it's sitting on the comptroller's desk, beat her up. If it's sitting on the mayor's desk, beat her up. Because if you don't hold that specific person accountable, if you're beating on the mayor for something that's on my desk and I'm holding it up, I don't have any pressure on me and it's not gonna move. So you need to, you know, that you have, it's absolutely essential we engage the right people at the right time.
My last question. I am that lady's mother. I live on 8700 block of Riverview. And it's just like being in corporate America. We're doing a traffic calming survey or study. My car has been hit last year twice on Riverview. Prior to that, only the side view mirror had been knocked off. But this last time, my car had sustained 7,000 plus damage and 4,400 plus damage.
Oh my God.
And I'm told that I need to work on a traffic calming survey so anything can be done about calming traffic on the 8700 block of Riverview. My older woman told me to. It's unfortunate that I chose to live on Riverview, but I should park on the side street, try some alternative means of parking. And I'm not doing that. I'm going to continue to park on Riverview. But I also need a copy of the Second Ward's budget. I've asked for it 3 times, and I haven't received it yet. How do I get a copy of the Second Ward's budget?
So you're talking about capital funds?
Yeah, the budget for our Second Ward.
Okay, so the capital funds,
Yes.
the Board of Public Service keeps the track record of that. And so you can always call and ask for anything that we have as far as the city is concerned. But what I want to share with you is,
It'll conclude allocations.
let's stop talking about how they program us, okay? Because when you drive down Union Boulevard, do you see all that fancy stuff over there? So people can park their cars.
Thank you.
And ride their bicycles.
Right outside of Forest
You
Park.
can have the
Yes.
same thing on Riverview, okay? You can have the same
Well,
thing.
I've been asking
You can
for
have
2
that
years
separate
now.
lane with all them little fancy things to protect your cars that are parked there.
And I've talked
But
to
they
MoDOT,
don't want to
and I've
take the
talked-
time and the energy and/or allow certain things to take place because you only got so much staff and you want your staff to be over here doing certain things. But you know what? At the end of the day, get loud. That's what I tell my neighborhood organizations. I tell them everything that's available to them. Everything. I tell them how to do it, go get it. Because you know what? I'm just an alderman at the end of the day. But you are the power because you got the vote. You are the power.
So I'm going to get with you, see if I can get a copy of our allocations and what that money has been appropriated for.
Yeah, they got money. The city has money because they get grant money that comes in with, what's the name of that group that does the bicycle stuff? TrailNet and everybody else. They got money for these street calming things. They told me that if I wanted to help do something, then I had to hurry up. Well, you don't tell people to hurry up, okay? You should have been here sooner to tell me about it. Don't come at the 11th hour and tell me to hurry up. But we got this beautiful roundabouts within a neighborhood now and
Yeah.
all kinds of
Right,
stuff.
that's
The
being
money
studied.
is there.
Right, but
Just-
we're not spending it.
Yeah, just tell them to do it.
Right,
Also,
which I've asked for.
Riverview is a MoDOT controls.
Yes, I know that.
So the city doesn't control the funding. That's a, it's a
They
state-
don't, right,
it's a
they,
state route.
Riverview is MoDOT funded, but we are responsible for any breakouts or bump outs that we put out there. They will be paid with the city funds.
So
MoDOT is willing to help us do some striping.
I just did this with Chippewa
Yes,
several
sir.
years ago. So I'm familiar with the process, but
Yeah.
ultimately MoDOT has the approval authority for any change.
And they have. They have.
So, but.
They've done their part.
So-
They've done their part.
Right, but it's a long, lengthy process that you have to go through for that kind of stuff. And I
We
hear
can
you.
start tomorrow putting bump outs over there.
And so
Okay.
MoDOT has, they're going to repay, but they also finally came up with a plan with the city to put bump outs next year from homes.
my car gets hit 2 more times by next year? Before we have the money to put the bumps out there. We don't have to wait for MoDOT to pay.
At this point, yes, because MoDOT.
I talked to MoDOT.
Okay.
Because I'm not, I have to do it all.
We are doing bump outs and, they are repaving the street, and they're going to do it next year. So they will be adding MoDOT, they will be adding all the bump outs and the repaving from the circle to 1 to 70.
Whose plan is this?
MoDOT and the city.
MoDOT, yeah, to the city, right, so the city can put the bump outs there before the paving.
Okay, yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, panel.
Good afternoon.
My name is Glenda Carter Smith. I'm down on Martin Luther King in Newstead. Right across the street, I have property at 1510 Newstead. I was talking to Sam Moore before he passed away about the property. What happened was LRA got some of my father's property. My property was inherited from my parents.
That's not a microphone. It's just recording.
It's recording, it's not amplified,
For
so
the
we
TV.
just.
Oh, he's still recording it, so it's talking to it. so
Talk
he
is
can-
loud, your outside voice.
What happened was LRA got some of my dad's property. I don't know how that happened. But I've been talking to LRA, and somehow they done saying that Sam said the property is gonna be for a park. You can't fit a park in there. He got the little corner, got the Ville Park on it. That's not a park. But I'm just saying, that I'm trying to get my father's property back from LRA. I've been downtown trying to talk to Miss Evans. Miss Evans, is this you?
Yes, yes.
I've been upstairs 3 or 4 times, me and my sister trying to get a hold of you. I saw the mayor down there one time, but I didn't want to. When I called the mayor's office, they told me to talk to the mayor. She never got back with me. The secretary never called me back. I keep coming down there, leaving my number with you. I got to go through all the men, the mayor, somebody to get that piece of property back. My daughter's developer, she's trying to put a coffee house on that property. I need that back lot for
MLK in Newstead?
Martin Luther King Newstead.
Okay.
But the property is 1510, it's on the backside. When I was trying to get, it's right across the street from Marshall School. When I was trying to get the property, LRA keeps saying that's why I have to go through the alderman. LRA keeps saying, it's for a park. You can't put a park there. It's not big enough for a park. So that's what Sam did when he was here. So I'm trying to get it back. Put it back in my family. Where it belongs.
Ms.
Don't
Glenda,
feel
what's
some
your
wrong.
full name?
My name is Glenda Carter Smith.
Okay.
My daughter's developed downtown. She's gonna put a coffee house on that property. Her name is Sakita Sukwo. She helping with that stuff they build down there. That's my daughter.
Can I help you with this?
She helping with
Yeah.
that government
Yeah.
stuff they build downtown.
All right, I want to help you, okay? So the first thing I need you to do is go online for the city of St. Louis. You will go to the Land Reutilization Authority, LRA. There's an application online.
LRA?
Uh-huh.
That's where I've been going.
Let's work it. There's an application online. Apply for the address that you're talking about, okay?
I did that.
So you have an application online now.
I applied for that property already.
How long
And when
ago?
I approached
How
the
long
county,
ago?
2 years ago.
Okay, so that's
Do it
gone.
again. Do
It's
it again
gone.
now so we
Let's
can- so we
start.
can
Let's
move it.
start new where we can all work together. Okay. So I need you to do that right now, and apply for the property, and then
Today.
Application LRA?
It's online.
Go to LRA.
Yeah, it's online.
What is the property?
City of St. Louis government site, and you're going to go to LRA, apply for the property that you're interested in, then leave a message with her secretary. No. Come on, we're going to work together today, okay?
We gonna work this, okay?
Okay.
We gonna work
Do you
this.
have one of your business cards with you?
Telling them, let me get in touch with Ms. Evans.
No. You don't need to do that. What I'm saying is, I'm gonna give you the easy route. I'm gonna give you the easy route, okay? Leave the message with the secretary. that you need a letter of support from the alderman for that address, okay? That's all. You don't need to talk, you already talked to her, okay? That's
Right.
over with. Come on, let's move
Carter
this.
Smith.
Okay, yeah.
And then she'll move.
Yeah, and then the next thing I need you to do, and that's online too.
I need a letter of support
From me, from
Right,
me.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So you've already talked to her secretary, you know the number to call. That's all you gotta do. And it's gonna move now. Now it's gonna move. The next thing is, the head of that department over there has some very different ideas, and they're moving forward with some things that are new with LRA. So instead of us being the biggest landlord, raggedy landlord in town, we're gonna try to get rid of some of this property. Everybody wants some property, you need to apply for it. Okay. No, did I just not say we doing something new? We doing something new.
The director was just let
Yeah.
go. She's gone.
Yeah.
She just lost her job.
Been a shake-up.
We doing
Yeah,
something new.
So that's why I'm saying, that's
Okay.
why we're saying, do it now.
Please just listen to me and do it, okay?
Yeah.
And so the head of that, his name is Lance
Knuckles.
LRA.
LRA.
His name is Lance Knuckles. He would be happy to listen to your plan and assist you in more ways than you would ever realize. Okay? And everything is wonderful now. It's moving. Okay.
Download.
Okay, we're almost at the end, so I think we're getting a little bit off track. So we want to hear about how we should spend these ARPA dollars to make our community better. Yes, sir.
Well, hey, everybody doing?
Good morning, afternoon.
My name is Terrence Suggs. I'm here at Harris State University.
Terrence who?
Terrence Suggs.
Terrence, thank you for coming.
So I just wanted
Hold
to
on,
say.
excuse me. Excuse me, everybody. We still have some people talking, so if you can use what my wife say, your inside voice, as you're talking next to your neighbor. We want to respect people who are standing up here to testify. Thank you.
So, it's nothing against y'all or anything like that. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I don't know too much about St. Louis, but I do know one thing. Y'all are helping. Because Memphis, we don't have it. I was born from North Memphis. North Memphis is just like, it's terrible. They keep decreasing the lanes in the streets and whatnot. But this is St. Louis. So this was what I wanted to say. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everything y'all doing. And my big thing was mental health. I kept hearing it, and I'm really big on that. I'm really big about mental health for the youth. And I had a couple of sources. Youth Voices with Action is one. Youth Voices is Action. I just became a part of that. It's only 5 kids there. People say that they want their kids to start learning how to advocate, how to start doing these leadership roles, but it's only 5 kids there. And I know that it's not a lot of people that know about that opportunity, but the opportunities are there, you know. So I really just feel like if I'm asking y'all anything, it's just really, I know connections already with youth, mental health things. I'm starting one at the Harris State University with black men mental health because it's needed. So all I'm asking y'all is for advertisement or some type of way to get these mental health things for these kids, such as any type of fun things like chess, like everything y'all saying. I just left from a gig from Legacy Institute. That's also something they do with enrichment with kids that does that. And I just left from that. It's not a lot of kids there. So I said it all to say I feel like really what's needed is the advertisement because I already know places from that's like right down the street that does the same thing that everybody's advocating for. But nonetheless, I really just appreciate y'all. I was just sitting back there. I wasn't even supposed to say nothing. I was supposed to come speak to you after. But everybody in here is doing their part. I feel like it's trying to come together. Memphis don't have that. And I feel like it could have been a lot worse because it's a lot worse than Memphis. It's a lot worse. So I appreciate y'all for what y'all doing.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Board of Aldermen and everybody that's still here. I am Tony Stovall. I am a resident in the 2100 block of Adelaide. I grew up over there. I actually went to Bryan Hill. I went to Yateman. My mom ended up moving into Emerson last, and I graduated from North Tech. But I've been all over St. Louis, and I've noticed a big difference. I remember when I was a child here on Adelaide, and I was a part of the DSEG program, and I got bused out to Chesterfield and was wondering, you know, as a first and second grader, why does my community look like this? You know, and I'm going out here to this school, and then my mom, we were getting in trouble so much at school, she just brought us back, went back to Bryan Hills, and I'm just like, what's going on with my school? Why does my neighborhood look like this? Why don't we have this quality education like the one out here in Chesterfield? So, you know, just growing up over there and being a lifelong resident who is still optimistic about the future for St. Louis, some things that I've noticed from people that I grew up with is this opioid crisis. I noticed a lot of people that I grew up with, they're either selling drugs or strung out on drugs. And a lot of this happens because either their parents are struggling with drug addiction and they want to either make money because maybe the parent is spending all their money on drugs, and they need to find a way to eat. They need to find a way to care for themselves. So they need accessible drop-in centers. I know I went to the Dream Center when I was over here a lot. That really kept me out of a lot of trouble, really valued education as well. So I believe that the children here need accessible community centers. I remember working for Slate as well, just being able to earn some money. So, you know, I know they have youth jobs, but offering more youth jobs for the children here. And living out in Northwoods, I know there's a big difference in the policing out there. They did community policing versus St. Louis, who do hotspot policing. I know the turnover rate is high with the St. Louis, you know, city police department because of whatever incentives you all offer. But, you know, just it's nice to know the officers that's driving through the neighborhood or you know, where they're responding, they can say, okay, this is Tony. Tony, what's going on with the boys today versus the police? And they've never seen me, I've never seen them. It's a new officer every time, and it gets frustrating. So I definitely believe community policing should be done as well, along with safety. My son attends school down here, just enforcing some more safety policies, whatever that looks like. My son called me walking home from school. Mom, I see cars driving around. I don't know if they're about to start shooting. And he's scared. He's a sixth grader that goes to one of the middle schools here in the district. So just enforcing some more safety and just really, really pouring the money here because people think I'm crazy, that I still have hope, that I want to build my childhood home. I bought my childhood home and helped with my alderman, Mr. Muhammad. Thank you so much. Wrote me a letter of recommendation, and I'm trying to acquire the vacant lots adjacent to my property called LRA. They said it's, you know, on hold for development. I'm surprised by that because I've been, you know, maintaining the lots for these last 2 summers. So that surprised me. But even seeing stuff happen with these vacant lots, because that's the safety hazard as well. People running through these lots, driving up. It's so much going on with the vacant lots and the vacant houses. So really seeing money put back into the community there, and even, you know, trying to get my building fixed on. Businesses don't even want to come down here. You know, I have another business owner friend who owns like property up there. She owns a home health care business, and she just bought some more property there. But people don't even want to come down here to work because they're scared because stuff might happen. So I really want to see a lot of, you know, development down here, but especially addressing that opioid crisis and doing something for our youth, keeping them busy, keeping them out of trouble, and giving them ways to earn money, especially when their parents are struggling already. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Hazel Whittle. Jeffrey Boyd is my alderman. This is my first town hall meeting because I work for Metro. I drive a bus. So I'm concerned about public safety like this lady here. I see accidents every day. I see drivers reckless, running red lights, running stop signs, passing on the left, driving on the right. Riverview has a bike accessibility, and then cars will drive, right up the wrong way. I don't know if we need to give the police more money to bring more officers in, but we need traffic police. I sent Jeffrey an email the other day. I don't think he got it, maybe his email changed. But I'm looking to get some boulders to put in my alley because I have a driveway and I have a paved part of my property, and the neighborhood hoodlums have decided to do donuts. And this is my house right here. You know, my investment. I need some protection. I've been trying to get a fence around my property for years. White establishments don't want to come out. I had a land survey done, and they put some wooden sticks in the ground, right? And then people who just walked through my property broke the sticks now, and I had Lowe's come out and look at this survey, and they couldn't even put up the fence because people didn't put the information down. But I need some boulders for my property to protect my home, and the hoodlums in the neighborhood already shot through my garage door a hole about this big because they called themselves helping a woman who had gotten her purse snatched. But we need more police officers, and the police need more money so they can get more officers to control these streets, because it's deadly. I can't tell you how many accidents I see a day. I'm doing the lead bus line now. I have done the 90 Hampton on Goodfellow, and it's just crazy. And our community is not going to get any better until people change their consciousness. Somehow we got to get the message out to people where, you know, sagging pants and carrying guns is not the way to go.
Right. Ms. Whipple, do you get emails from me?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway,
I can show you the email.
That's okay. We'll talk
address.
after it.
Okay.
And so I'll work on that with you. But is there any? What do you think we should do with the ARPA dollars? How should we use these dollars to transform our neighborhood?
You're talking about our community. The police are part of the community.
Okay, that's your priority.
Yeah,
Public
policing.
safety. Okay.
Public safety.
Gotcha. Okay. This is the last speaker tonight.
Oh, I get a prize?
And let me say this before he finishes. We're going to have some markers. And those who didn't get a chance to speak, if you have some new ideas or you just didn't want to do a public speaker, right up there, and we'll take that with us. Okay?
Good evening. I've been sitting back.
What's your name?
Larry Middlebrook. Okay. I have been sitting back listening, and I've heard so much negative things about St. Louis. What about the good that we have here in this city? I'm proud of this city. Go somewhere else to some of these other large cities, they have the same problems we have. But the problem is finding a solution. As JFK said, ask not what your city can do for you, but what you can do for your city. We have plenty of resources out here. We're not using them. We have to start helping each other and helping the city. St. Louis is a great city to live in and to be a part of. We have some of the lowest cost of living and housing stock there is in the United States. Why do you think these out-of-town investors are trying to buy up property? Because it's so cheap. Go somewhere else. But by the same token, let's start doing our part and stop complaining so much. These guys up here is working hard every day for the betterment of St. Louis and the city. But we come here with all our negative, put that negative energy out into some positive energy. Yeah. I stay on Hornsby, 1600 block of Hornsby, been there for 40 years. And we work as a group throughout that entire block.
That's not going on everywhere. Yeah, and Sarah, I have called Middlebrook, your daughter. When my house was shot in and bullets went through, and to this day, I had to call my family alderman, Mr. Boyd, to say, would you please find my alderperson, because my house bullets was shot through. And to this day, has not returned my call. The police has called me more than my alderman has never called me. Miss Melody, whatever her name is. I've called all around to get her to return a call. And I am a taxpayer, and I had to stay in the house with gunshots through my door, through my bedroom, you know, and still today has not returned my phone call. So at what point did I was happy, but now I am not happy. So that's why I complain.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on.
Hold on 1 minute. That is a police problem. If your house is shot up, your alderman is not a policeman. Okay.
They cleaned up the glass up. The police
Yeah,
did a
but that's their job.
But
That's
I
not your
called my
alderman.
to talk about the home that
Okay.
has been allowed to stay there and have shootouts and drive-by. I was calling about the person that we vote for to help our community, because I am not the only one that's afraid.
Your alderman legislate, okay? But that's a big concern. But that's a police concern. All right. I'm gonna get ready to sit down. But anyway, let's start doing our part where we can help the community. And that's it. Thanks a lot. Hey, and on investing, on the ARPA money, whatever you invest in, make sure you get a return from it. Not just spending money and not getting anything back in return. Amen. Okay.
All right, I like that. Economic development.
I thought we were done, but or both of you guys want to speak? I'm gonna give you the chance that we gotta close it up after you guys. So again, y'all gonna have to get on the flip charts because it'll be 12:30 soon.
Well, no, we want to come and address everybody just because, because you all need some youth in the room, right now. So everybody says that, young people don't come and we don't do anything and we're just sitting down letting stuff happen, which is not true. I wanted to make sure I get up here. I'm Sierra Simmerl. I'm from the 27th Ward in the city of St. Louis. I live in the 5900 block of Floyd, and I'm a homeowner in North City. I wanted to speak to the reasoning of us actually being here because I feel like we get off subject and we get on our own soapboxes, and that's a part of the problem. I feel like we have to look at the future aspects of what St. Louis holds for us, and the fact that I feel like those funds should be able to address the things like public schools. We have schools in every corner practically of our areas, and they're closing. And education is the root problem of why we have so much crime. No one wants to address it or really even talk about it. The fact that we have all these alternatives and things of that sort and reasonings for why people are getting into trouble. I feel like those schools should house other programs like GEDs, like programming as far as home ownership, to be able to educate people on why they should invest in their communities. Another thing I would talk about as far as if it was possible for us to have police substations in the area. I don't know if that's something that would be able to come from that funding for us to be able to utilize certain locations, whether it's a library, some type of safe space, because that's the biggest problem that we have is that we're not communicating, we're not working together. It's us against them. That's a lot of the problem. We can't control everything, but you can control what you're doing and what your contribution is to the community. So with these funds, I feel like the fact that we have the ability to move them and we do want to see them in North City, we need to be able to house them within our own community through that alderperson or through the organization that's there. Because if we don't, we're going to continue to have friction among our elected officials and then the community people. You don't get along, you're upset, you're stagnant at that point, and at that point, you're dead. So we need to move past that as a collective. I feel like that's what we start at and stop blaming each other for the conditions that we're currently in. This was not by accident. This was by design, that North St. Louis was disenfranchised in the first place.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
our land is worth more now than what it would have been over 20, 30 years ago before my time. So that's something that everyone has to think about. I don't know if anyone goes on the city website, looks at how much your property value is per square foot. You should look at that. You should check the boundaries of where your property sits because you may be losing out on something that belongs to you. Thank you, I'm done.
Man, y'all must be crazy if y'all think I can follow up behind that, you know? But at the end of the day, greetings, everyone. Greetings. Alder persons, greetings. My name is Farrakhan Shigog. I serve as director of the Federation of Block Units. And I had to rush over here from Walnut Park Library, where we recently just had an Area F Council meeting where Alderwoman Middlebrook and Alderwoman Pam Boyd was in attendance at. But we did a workshop with Conflict Resolution Center, who is here in the house, and also the Neighborhood Stabilization Officer as well. But nonetheless, what we did today was something so important. How do we enable residents to be empowered to be able to address the issues and the concerns in their own communities in which they reside in? And today, perfect example was all about how do we de-escalate and resolve conflicts before they even get violent or before they spill into the community, and then we have these chain reaction of events. Retaliatory responses, retaliatory gunfire. You robbed me, now I'm finna rob you. You hit my son, now I'm finna bring my whole family over here to fight you and jump on, all of that. But I say that to say that I wanna applaud the Board of Aldermen, specifically the Black Caucus, for number one, getting these funds past the finish line so that we can be able to have these funds specifically as they're intended to for North St. Louis. Now, I'm only simply here to, number one, extend a relationship and extend a partnership from the Federation of Block Units to work with you all and to work with this community to ensure that everything that is being said, good or bad, in this room and how you all receive it, we want to be able to partner with you all to ensure that these voices not just get heard, but action is followed behind these concerns as well. So the Federation of Block Units stand here committed and ready and determined to partner with you all to ensure that everything that is being discussed, everything that is happening at City Hall, everything that's happening in Jefferson City, everything that's happening in DC, to make sure that that information, those tools, those resources, and those support reaches us. And so, for my people in behind me, I want to encourage you all, start a block unit. If you already have a block unit, then I want to encourage you to get reactive, and then I'm going to come back to you and say, our block unit needs more funding to support the people that signed up. So that's all I got to say, y'all. Thank y'all.
All right. First of all, I'd like to, before we wrap up, I would like to have every one of my colleagues who may want to just leave a lasting thought. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'll start on this end and work my way to the president, because the president's going to have the last word.
Okay.
So, Alderman Cone?
I don't have anything in particular to share wisdom or whatnot at this point, but I do want to thank all of you all for coming out today and expressing your thoughts and opinions. You know, this is obviously a really critical time for our city, and we've got a lot of opportunity to work on together. And so this is a really great step to see so many members of our community coming out and sharing their voices and helping us work together with you to make these improvements possible. So thank you for being here today. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. We kind of did. I'm Shane Cohn, alderman of the 25th Ward. So that's kind of Southeast City, Dutchtown, Mount Pleasant, Carondelet neighborhoods. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Lisa Middlebrook, Second Ward. I don't really have anything to say, but thank you all for coming out.
Sarah Martin, 11th Ward, Carondelet, Holly Hills, the Patch, basically the farthest southeast corner of the city. I just want to thank everyone for coming. I took a lot of notes and I could tell there was a lot of overlap, not only in this room on just requests for funding. Obviously, mental health funding is a huge request. And fortunately or unfortunately, I think if there was a room and folks in my ward, they would request this pretty much the same exact thing. So, you know, it's unfortunate that some of the needs that we need to fund, but at the same time, I really feel like St. Louis City residents are speaking up and have a lot of the similar ideas and overlap. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm John Collins Muhammad, Alderman of the 21st Ward, where we are sitting in right now. And I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. President, for choosing the 21st Ward to bring this critical and needed town hall. I'm hungry. I'm about to cry just like him in a minute. But thank you for bringing this to the 21st Ward to North St. Louis. I think that we know what the issues and the concerns are, and it is up to us all together to work to remedy all these issues and concerns that we have. It's not on one alderperson, it's not on one mayor. It takes a community. We all know that old saying, it takes a village. Well, it takes a village, and that's what we have to do right now here in North St. Louis and in the entirety of the city of St. Louis. So thank you again, Mr. Chairman and Mr. President.
Again, I'm Jeffrey Boyd. I'm the Alderman for the 22nd Ward in the city of St. Louis, representing predominantly the Wells Goodfellow, Hamilton Heights, and the Mark Twain I-70 neighborhood, basically from Page to I-70 and Union West to the city limits of Pine Line and Wellston. I just want to say you guys got me excited today. I really appreciate everybody that has stayed to the end. I enjoyed a lot of the comments. What I was sitting here reflecting on, you know, this meeting was pretty much about ARPA dollars and how we can use these dollars to transform our neighborhood. But people took the opportunity to speak to aldermen about their general concerns, about their city and how they love their city, are disappointed about their city, us working together better, and so on and so forth. So I enjoyed every comment. It is being, it will be on STL TV because that's who's doing the video and the microphone, so people who couldn't come to the meeting can hear it. And if you need to be refreshed about something that was said, you can go back and play it. So again, just thank you so much for being in attendance. This is what it's about. We have to probably do this more often in the neighborhoods, because it can't be the alderman. I always tell people, I'm just the alderman. I'm not Jesus Christ. I mean, I can't just make things go away. But collectively, we can deal with crime with the police if we organize and make our voices heard to the captain and to the police chief. We can change what's going on in our community if our voices are heard, not just put at the feet of one person, right? We can't put it at the feet of the alderman and say, well, the alderman ain't doing it because these prostitutes been around here for 5 years. No. How many people are calling about them? How many people are calling about the potholes? I was told a couple weeks ago, more potholes was filled in South St. Louis than North St. Louis. Why? Because we're not calling 622-4800 reporting the pothole. We're just complaining about the pothole. Being empowered. That is one of the responsibilities we have as leaders, to empower the people that we represent, to empower the people that are our team members, okay? So this is powerful today, and I just hope we continue it on in our communities on the lower level, like having the different board meetings that some of us have. Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering, in terms of the potholes, what is the position of the neighborhood stabilization officer? If I had that job, every Monday I would drive down every street and write down potholes. Every Tuesday I would call the Citizen Service Bureau. So what are their responsibilities?
We have one here, and after we're gonna go ahead and move down here and wrap it up with the president, and then people can stay around and chit chat. But she's right back there. Raise your hand. I forgot her name, but she'll talk to you about it afterwards. Most of us. Go ahead.
Okay.
My name is Gwendolyn Evans. I'm the Alderwoman of the 4th Ward. And I just want to relay something. I had an opportunity to go visit my daughter and my grandson in North Carolina. Had never been there. Had an opportunity to visit and just go out and about. And I noticed the clean streets. And I'm just saying, okay, you know, you drive around, clean highways. And so the minute I stepped down at Lambert Airport, there in North Carolina, the weather was warm. Got here, it was freezing. I said, I want to go back. I want to go back. But the thing of it is, you hit the airports, you see alligator tires in the highway. If you don't know what that is, it's the treadmills from 18-wheelers. And you see other trash and stuff, and I'm saying, I'm back. But this is my city. I love my city. I do all I can to help clean up my city. If you have a cleanup going on, I will get out there and help you, because it's so important that we take responsibility and pride in where we live. I used to say, well, and I'm going to cut it short because sometimes I get going and don't know how to stop. But I used to be a carrier, and I used to deliver flowers all over the city. Clayton, Ladue, Olivet, South City, everywhere. And I would see how their neighborhoods look. And I said, wow, I would love to live here. I would love to live there. But then I go back to where I do live. And I say, well, you know what? It'll cost me an arm and a leg to move here. It'll cost me an arm and a leg to move there. So what I'm going to do is concentrate on where I live. What I see out there that I like, I'm bringing it to my neighborhood, because I shouldn't have to move out in the county in order to have a safe, nice place to live. And that's how I feel. We need to get more people to feel the same way. If it's something that you like, start it, implement. Maybe your neighbors will catch on. And I've talked too much, but that's how I feel.
You didn't talk too much. I wanted to thank our chairman for conducting the meeting and keeping everything as civil as possible.
Yes.
But I'm Alderwoman Marlene Davis of the 19th Ward, and that includes part of Jeff Vanderloom, Midtown, Tiffany neighborhood.
You saying hi, lady?
Hi, lady, baby. Botanical Heights, part of Compton Heights, part of Downtown West, and Midtown. So you see, I got some of everything. And I understand everybody's plights, okay? But even before that, for those who don't know, I served on the St. Louis Public School Board and was president for 3 years, and ended the DSEG program, which I thought was the waste of money of the known history of America, okay? Because the money should have been spent in these communities and made these schools the best, okay? So I won't get on that too much, but what I appreciated for all of you all coming today, and I thank you for speaking your mind. You spoke your truth.
Yes.
And that's what we needed to hear. That's what the rest of the public needs to hear. And most especially the fact that we have not put this money on the street. It's $100 million that we haven't put on the street. And there's something wrong with that, okay? Because we know it's needed. We know it was needed before it got here. It was needed before COVID. It is needed. So you are our bosses. You are all of our bosses. Anybody that you ever voted for, you are their boss. And you need to let them know how you feel every day. Not one day, every day. You text them one day, you email the next day, you leave a call the next day, you send a letter the next day. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do it. Do it. Not, ma'am?
Is there any excuse that the mayor is using why she's not doing
I'm not gonna get into that because
So there is no, okay, that's the question I wanted to.
you don't want my mouth to go there, so just let me hush. Okay. Let me hush. You can do that too. That's that 6th day. And the 7th day you rest, okay? But let's make sure that we do that. Conflict resolution. I had you in Gate District West. I forgot I got Gate District too. In Gate District West, you helped us. You took a neighborhood that had, it really was a minor concern, but they blew it up. But once you have the opportunity to talk something through, it changes the way you think about it. So our problem as far as cultural changing, we have allowed too many people to come in our neighborhoods, put rhetoric out there about you. They don't know nothing about you. They don't know how you live. They don't know how we were raised, but they got all these answers and want to use words like racial equity lens and all that crap. Get back and do our job and talk about our neighborhoods and talk to each other, okay? Each other. That's what we need. Hold on one second. Okay. But let's talk about the ARPA funds. If there was ever any concern about the ARPA funds, we have 28 alderpersons and a board president. When we passed the bill, 27 aldermen voted yes. 1 voted present, and the president voted yes. Do you know how difficult that is to get a vote like that? So that meant you were represented, but yet it stopped, and the money hasn't been put on the street. Okay? So understand, the executive branch is in charge of that, not us. We are the legislative branch. I wish I could, because it would have been done by now. Most people know me as, she gonna get it done. She don't play, and she gonna get it done, all right? All right. So what?
The mayor's office.
Right, right. So know that the executive branch is the branch of government that is under the mayor's office, that has all the city departments under it, department heads. They are supervised and directed by the executive branch. I can't go tell not one supervisor to do anything, because they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy because I'm not their boss, okay? So we want you to understand, and that's what I do. When you come to your neighborhood meeting, Committee Woman 19th Ward sitting right here, Queen Bird, she will tell you, I empower the residents. I don't show up unless it's got to be some serious stuff I gotta step on. All right, I got a block unit too. I think I'm 1062. All right, you need a block unit, okay. But we are empowering people. That's what we do. Ask the Gate District. They got a development going on over there. They're building houses and condos and everything. They even got habitat bills going on. Do you know who did that? The Community Development Committee of the neighborhood organization. They chose the designs. They chose the builders. They are monitoring the project. They're making sure minority participation is there. And I empower the people. Because you know what? We don't know who the next alderman might be. You need to have your power. You need to know how to govern yourself. You need to know what department to call. You need to know how to get on that phone and say, move that $100 million. That's what it's you. I can't do it. I have no power to do it. But I love being an alderperson. I love assisting people. I believe it is the only thing that we can do. God put us here. He said you're supposed to love and take care of each other. And you know we are not paying attention. And He gonna punish us for that. So we're gonna have to do better, people. We're gonna have to do better. Because it can't get no worse. And these thugs out here, they just need some loving and attention. They call me the crazy alderman. Here she come. You're right, because you know you're not doing that stuff over here. You're not gonna do it.
And if you believe taking my life is the best way for me to leave you alone, you go ahead and try to do that. Because I guarantee you I'm going to be the one telling the story, not you. We have a lot of work to do, people, and I want you to continue to be where you are because you obviously care. I hear a lot of great things, and there's a lot of money that we could allocate. And I kept a list of everything that people talked about. I put a tally of the number of people who talked about specific things, everything from the water division, MSD, the public school system, mental health, rent subsidies, the nuisance program, conflict resolution, the eviction problems, helping small businesses, recreation centers, street calming. You talked about more children activities and making sure that we did more with residents on public housing too. I heard that. So I hope you got something out of it. But we're going to do another one if you didn't. And our chairman will. When is it?
It's the 23rd of April on the south side at.
Is it 23rd or 16th?
No, 23rd.
23rd, okay.
Because that's Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me find that real quick. Sorry. Go ahead, Mr. President, and I'll just hit at the end. I gotta.
Before I begin, let me, are you the parents of this young man? I tell you what, I have to give you guys a round of applause to my 4 kids. I was sitting through this long thing. That's some commitment. So I was sitting there watching you all, and you kept them calm, and you hung in there and took in all the information, participated. That's what St. Louis is. That's what we're made of. So I just want to really thank you so much as a father of 4 and a brother of another 8. I'm not going to tell you where I'm at in order or how old I am. That's why I shaved my head. So. But, and I want to thank the committee members for your commitment. The Board of Aldermen, we have a really good Board of Aldermen. We come together. We debate the issues heavily, right? But conversation doesn't always mean confrontation. And then at the end of the day, we put some good products out. We were able to pass that bill, the COVID relief funding, where people were fighting about it. We were able to pass that bill in a unified fashion with a supermajority over to the executive branch of government, to the mayor's office. And that money still sits there today. The young man that talked about the 4,000 people that are are on the eviction list, right? They don't need to be there. There's enough money sitting in the bank today that can be put to work right now in the next 10 minutes in the city of St. Louis that we've pushed over to the mayor's office, totally 100% under her control, to put the money to work. And to date, nearly not even a dime in some of those pots of funds, like rental assistance, mortgage assistance, and utility assistance, $15 million sitting there, not one dime has been spent. It's been sitting there for 200 days. Meanwhile, people are getting their electricity cut off, they're getting thrown out of their houses and everything else, right? That has to stop. And I said earlier, all other things being equal, you all are the tiebreaker. I'm saying that from experience. I've passed ordinances since 1999 in this city. And probably one of the leading people in terms of the number of ordinances that people have handled. Everything from, funding programs for housing and the like. But the ones that we were able to move successfully are the ones where the people spoke up. And it doesn't take a lot of people. It takes 10, 15 people to call that office and things move. So you truly have the power to release $100 million on the streets right now. You have that power. We put it in place and it's sitting there. A few calls from you all, that money will begin to move. It will. Period. And, when they say put permanent homeless tent encampments in North St. Louis, and then at the same time say, okay, but we're gonna do these $500 things. You know what? Keep the tent and $500. Give me give me part of the hundreds of millions of dollars that the city of St. Louis is gonna get. Because the reason we're getting that money is because of North St. Louis, because of socioeconomic conditions that exist within this community. So be fair. I don't need to, and I'm talking to you, no one can tell me about homelessness. I've lived in a homeless tent encampment. Been homeless twice in my life. Was homeless in high school. And I'm not talking about just transitional for a day or two, a week or two. That was my life. So I know what it's like crawling out of a Sears refrigerator box in the middle of the night and not stepping in, but your knees and palms directly in feces. I've lived that life. And with the things that have been done in neighborhoods all across North St. Louis, the worst thing we can do at this point is to now tell you with your biggest investment in the world that we are going to put a permanent homeless tent encampment across the street from your house and call that equity when we're sitting on $500 million. Board Bill 82, the one that I talked to you about here today. That board bill is the money that we tried to move 200 days ago. We're still trying to move it through the Board of Aldermen, so not through the Board of Aldermen, through the executive branch of government to get it to your community. 200 days ago, they said that the money was illegal to spend it in North St. Louis, and my response was, I guess it's okay to give business grants and loans and stuff to businesses downtown, which we've done, but when you go north of Delmar, all of a sudden it becomes illegal. That's the reality we're dealing with. But none of that's going to change unless we get people focused in the right way and people just holding people accountable. And again, whoever it is, if your governor comes to see you and things aren't happening that are directly under your governor's control, challenge them. U.S. Senator, I don't care what their name is.
Get it.
I don't care what their race is. I don't care what their gender is. You challenge them if the things aren't happening within your community. If your U.S. congressmen's come in here and your U.S. congressmen have things that are directly under their control and it's not moving, you tell them. If your alderpersons are doing it, you tell them. If your mayor's doing it, you tell them. I don't care who they are. I don't care if you voted for them. I don't care if you like them, don't like them. It's not about all of that. We need to pump the brakes on all of that. We need movement. We don't have all day, and we don't have all year to get this money out. We need this money moved right now. So I thank you all so much for the passion. I thank you all so much for coming out and engaging in this meeting today. I also encourage you, this Board of Aldermen, we passed an ordinance a number of years ago that now requires a lot of these meetings to be online. So you can go out, you can go back, don't trust anything anybody's saying, including the people up here, myself, and anybody. Right. You go online and get the information. You can go see the Board of E&A meetings where we've discussed sending money to North St. Louis. And you will know what people are saying. Look at the votes. Same thing for committee hearings and the like. Arm yourself with the information so you can hold the right people accountable so that we can make some progress and change our city forever. I also want to thank Farrakhan Shigag and my brother John Collins Muhammad. I watched these two young men grow up.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel good every time I see. Yeah, I know.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. You're a committee man.
Committee man, he's elected.
We'll tell your business.
It feels good watching them grow up. So, but again, thanks to every member of this board and the committee members that have worked so hard to get this money out, and each and every one of you. Let's give everybody a round.
So with that, the next town hall we will have on the south side at St. Stephen Proto-Martyr, something like that, Catholic Church. The address is 3949 Wilmington Avenue, St. Louis 63116, 3949 Wilmington Avenue. Again, St. Stephen, I'm going to say Protomartyr, Catholic Church. All right, with that, everybody, we're going to conclude the town hall. Appreciate you.